This page is the cover of Nintendo Dream Magazine, Volume 73, dated September 6, 2002. The main highlight is Super Mario Sunshine, with a vibrant image of Mario and FL.UDD, covered in paint. The cover proudly announces an interview where Shigeru Miyamoto discusses the game, alongside a detailed 3D map strategy guide. Other featured titles include a first impression report on the highly anticipated Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire, announcements for the upcoming Skies of Arcadia Legends and Sonic Mega Collection, and a special feature interview with developers from Sega. It's a snapshot of major releases and news from the gaming scene in late 2002. This page is an advert for Zoids. You become a Zoid pilot on Nintendo GameCube, highlighting intense mech battles, deep customization, a story mode featuring TV anime characters, and a limited edition bonus model. This page is a full-page advertisement for Zoids vs. on Nintendo GameCube, featuring action-packed mech battles, main characters, and the game's release details. This page is a full-page advertisement for the Game Boy Advance title, Kawaii Koneko, Cute Kitten. It's promoted as the highly anticipated latest release in the popular Nakayoshi Pet Advance series by MTO, a company known for games targeted at girls. The game lets players virtually raise a realistic kitten on their GBA, featuring activities like going for walks, playing, observing emotional expressions, and hearing meows. You can choose from 13 popular breeds, including the American Shorthair, with different fur colors available. The ad mentions the game was scheduled for release on August 9th, at a price of 4,800 yen. There's even a note about IAM's Japan cat food appearing in the game. The bottom of the page highlights other games in the Nakayoshi Pet series already released on both Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color, including games featuring hamsters, puppies, and rabbits. This page is an advertisement for Maito's latest Game Boy Advance titles. It prominently features two games, Tokimeki Yume series, Ohanayasan ni Naru, Let's Become a Florist, from the Heart-Pounding Dream series, presented as a new series following their popular cooking games, and Daisuki Teddy, I Love Teddy, a game about raising teddy bears. Both games are available now, with Daisuki Teddy having a limited edition set, including a miniature bear and a naming campaign. This page is an advertisement for Disney's Mickey Mouse's Mysterious Mirror, a click-adventure game for Nintendo GameCube released on August 9, 2002. It also mentions Disney's Magical Quest, starring Mickey and Minnie, an action game released simultaneously for Game Boy Advance. This page is the table of contents for Nintendo Dream Volume 73, published on September 6, 2002. The cover story is a massive 28-page deep dive into Super Mario Sunshine, featuring strategy guides including 3D maps, and an interview with Shigeru Miyamoto himself discussing the game. There's a big Sega special feature, highlighted by an interview with legendary developers Yuji Naka and Katsuhisa Uba, alongside features on Skies of Arcadia Legends, Sonic Mega Collection, and Phantasy Star Online. New software is covered with exclusive hands-on reports for the highly anticipated Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire, plus guides and information for Fire Emblems, The Blade of Seals, Golden Sun, The Lost Age, Super Robot Wars R, Rockman and Forte, Capcom vs. SNK2EO, Zoids vs. Staz, and Klonoa G2. The page also lists various regular columns and a comprehensive game index for both Nintendo GameCube and Game Boy Advance titles covered in the issue. This page kicks off the second round of a massive giveaway celebrating the magazine's renewal, offering a total of 200 prizes across 2 issues. This section focuses on super valuable, hard-to-get treasure goods that are highly sought after by fans. Leading the charge is a Super Mario Sunshine poster signed by the legendary creator himself, Shigeru Miyamoto, with 3 lucky winners taking one home. Next up is the stylish Nintendo GameCube logo messenger bag, a popular item from the previous issue's giveaway, back for one winner. The third prize is a special Nindori treasure goods set, featuring a Kirby mousepad, not pictured, a wristwatch with a unique Nindori logo and a bearded character, and the super rare Legend of Zelda pocket watch that instantly sold out at last year's Nintendo Space World event. 3 of these cool sets are available. Finally, a true collector's piece, the original image album CD for the Super Famicom masterpiece, Mother 2, known as Earthbound in the West, autographed by the game's producer, Shigesato Itoi. Only one winner will receive this incredibly rare signed album. These prizes are definitely aimed at serious collectors. A massive giveaway continues, offering 10 rare prizes. Prize 5 is an autographed Yu Suzuki Gameworks Volume 1 book with a Dreamcast Gidrambre. Prize 6 is a sealed Sonic Adventure 2 US soundtrack. Prize 7 offers 2 hand-drawn Wonder Project J2 production cells. Prize 8 is a prototype Light Boy Advance in a unique color. Prize 9 awards 3 Mario's The King of Games t-shirts. Finally, Prize 10 is a signed Picross book, bundled with a custom-painted Game Boy Color. Entries must be postmarked by August 20, 2002, and winners will be announced in Nintendo Dream Volume 75. The next page continues the massive giveaway. We're looking at prizes 11 through 25 here, and there's a cool mix of gaming goodies and other neat stuff up for grabs. Highlights include a Bomberman helmet from Hudson, a slick Ubisoft shoulder bag, and exclusive items for games like Shinki Sekai Evolution from Especially, and Rune from Software. Sega's throwing in some non-retail GBA software cases, and Victor Interactive Software has a set with items related to Kawa no Nushitsuri 64 and Gaku Otsukuru Advance. There are even signed boards from voice actors for Metal Gun, Slinger, a classic Atari t-shirt from Infogrames, and comics for Angelique, and even the Chinese version of The Legend of Zelda from Akira Himekawa herself. Tommy's got some fun toy prizes, like the electronic pet Mutsu, cute Nohohafon figures, and some Zoids blocks. It's definitely a diverse list, continuing the excitement from the previous page. This page announces an exciting opportunity from Nindori magazine. They want your ideas for Nintendo goods that aren't currently sold. They're calling it the Nindori Applicant All-Member Service, where the magazine will actually produce the best fan-suggested items. They show off some cool examples of past exclusive items they've made, like a Pikmin calendar, the Legend of Zelda telephone cards, a cute Kirby mousepad, and even a special watch with a mustache design. As a special bonus for submitting your proposal, 2 lucky readers will be chosen by lottery to receive a signed item from the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto himself. Either an autographed copy of Super Mario Sunshine for GameCube, or a signed Pikmin soundtrack CD. The page gives clear instructions on how to send in your goods idea, your desired prize, and your contact information via postcard. The deadline for submissions is August 31, 2002. This page dives into the next month's game release dates and events. The headline asks if you're enjoying the summer with Mario Sunshine, and highlights that lots of game events are happening everywhere. It features a monthly calendar covering August and September 2002, packed with upcoming releases like Nintendo Dream Volume 73 and 74, Mr. Driller Ace, Mysterious Bacteria, and various sports games like Let's Make a Pro Soccer Club Advance. There are also major events listed, including Pokemon Festa 2002, and numerous Super Smash Bros. Melee tournaments held across different locations throughout the month. There's a section about a special Sega event offering Otonoshimi download at Itoyokado and Jusco stores. If you bring your Game Boy Advance, you can download free demos like a Choo Choo Rocket puzzle game and data for KO Garden. Just be aware the downloads disappear when you turn off the GBA. Finally, the page announces the bittersweet end of the Nintendo Power Service on August 31st. This service allowed players to rewrite Super Famicom and Game Boy games onto cartridges at convenience stores. And it's a shame to see it go, especially as it released some great titles. This page is packed with rankings and reader feedback. The main feature is the Nintendo Hyper Ranking, showcasing the top 20 software sales and top 5 hardware sales from July 8th to July 21st. Leading the Nintendo software sales is the brand new GameCube title, Super Mario Sunshine, with a massive debut. Following closely are GQ Powerful Pro Baseball 9 for GameCube and Hikaru no Go 2 for Game Boy Advance. The ranking features a mix of GC and GBA hits, including Yu-Gi-Oh!, Duel Monsters 7 and Golden Sun. Over on the right, readers have voted for their most anticipated new releases. Topping that list is The Legend of Zelda for GameCube, followed by Star Fox Adventures and the highly anticipated Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire for Game Boy Advance. This section highlights upcoming titles across GC and GBA that fans are eager to get their hands on. The hardware sales chart shows PlayStation 2 still at number 1, but the Game Boy Advance is strong in second place. There's a note about a rival handheld appearing, but it's not seen as a threat to the Gigba's dominance. Finally, there's a section on feedback regarding the magazine itself, discussing reader impressions of the latest volume. and a small note about anticipation for Star Fox climbing, possibly due to a related comic series. It seems the magazine staff are working hard based on reader feedback. This page covers the 16th Next Generation World Hobby Fair, held at Makuhari Messe on July 13th and 14th. The event drew massive crowds eager to see the latest toys and games. The absolute highlight was the Nintendo booth, which was incredibly popular, packed with fans and families. The main attraction at the Nintendo area was, without a doubt, Super Mario Sunshine. The demo stations were constantly busy, with waits reaching up to 75 minutes just to play. Those who braved the line were rewarded with a cool tattoo sticker. The booth also featured a stage where characters like Mario appeared for live shows, much to the delight of the attendees. Mini-games based on Super Mario Sunshine were also available, offering original t-shirts as prizes for clearing them. Beyond Nintendo, other companies were present. Sega showcased titles like Sonic Advance 2 and Mega Collection. Capcom featured games such as Mega Man and Base and Mega Man Battle Network 2, with battle tournaments heating up the corner. Hudson had Bomberman Gig available for play, and Namco brought the legendary Starfire. Demos for many popular GameCube and Game Boy Advance titles were available, including Custom Robo GX and Yoshi's Island. The event was a huge success, showcasing the excitement for upcoming games. Super Mario Sunshine's Japanese release on July 19th saw huge lines at retailers like Yodobashi Camera and Laox. Positive fan response continued post-release, with a Mario-clad staff member promoting the game. The August issue of a Nintendo publication featured playable demos for upcoming games like Super Mario Sunshine, Star Fox Adventures, and Resident Evil 0. The Japan Character Festival 2002's GCGBA New Works Gathering offered free access to playable demos of various games, including new titles like Metal Gear Solid and Custom Robo GX. This page features a new peripheral for the Game Boy Advance, the GBA Music Recorder MP3. This accessory lets you record and play music using compact flashcards. Planned for an early October release at 9,800 yen. It seems like a neat way to bring music to your GBA on the go. There's also coverage of a custom Robo GX Challenge Battle event held at Toys R Us stores. Players could bring their GBA and game cartridge to compete for a chance to get data for the rare Rising Chimera robot. Battling other players to get special unlocks is always a fun event idea. News from the upcoming GBA title, Metal Gun Slinger, mentions the filming of a promotional video for the game's theme song, performed by the trio Billy's Angel. They're shown in Western-style outfits, which fits the game's aesthetic. In other news, a Nintendo Dream promotional car, playing Super Mario BGM, drove through Tokyo streets as a publicity stunt. It's great to see them getting out there and promoting things, especially with the success of Super Mario Sunshine recently. Finally, there's a look ahead at upcoming episodes of the Kirby of the Stars anime, highlighting stories like an episode featuring a friend of Wispy Woods and a two-part ghost story adventure. The anime was always a blast, bringing the world of Dreamland to life. This page kicks off with a recommendation for Klonoa 2, Dream Champ Tournament on the Game Boy Advance, highlighting its blend of strong puzzle and action gameplay, challenging bosses, time attack modes, and rich stage design, noting the easily engaging story. There's coverage of the upcoming Tokyo Game Show 2002, scheduled for September 21st and 22nd. The event promises announcements for numerous GameCube and GBA titles, from a wide array of major Japanese game companies like Capcom, Konami, Square, Sega, and Namco, although Nintendo themselves aren't listed among the initial exhibitors. A short comic features Mizuzu Link sharing game news, reacting to the cancellation of Space World, and mentioning support for GameCube Network game development. Finally, the page showcases a range of merchandise for the popular Klonoa series, available primarily through the Picoroto online store. Fans can find various items, like a cap similar to Klonoa's, a t-shirt, hand towels, sparkling stickers, a pouch perfect for holding a GBA, and a keychain. Prices for the goods are also listed. This page is a juicy scoop report straight from Pokémon Festa 2002, where the highly anticipated Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire were playable for the very first time. The magazine sent their editors to Sapporo to get the earliest possible hands-on experience. The page features a cool illustration of May, the female protagonist from the games. There's a table listing the basic info for the Game Boy Advance titles. Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire are confirmed as RPGs that support the GBA link cable, with other details like price and player count still undecided at the time. The report dives into the special Pokémon Festa demo version, which allowed players to battle 6 trainers. The article emphasizes that this was a work-in-progress build focused on the experience, and that the final game content might change. Photos from the actual event floor show attendees trying out the game. The reporter, Transel Tenemichi, shares their personal impressions after playing the demo extensively, expressing high anticipation for the final release. This page spills the beans on some major discoveries made while playing the Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire demo. The big headline is, 3 great scoops discovered while playing. First up is the revelation of abilities, Tokusei. These are special powers that some Pokémon possess, adding a whole new layer to battles. The article highlights 2 Pokémon with abilities discovered in the demo, Kecleon and Sharpedo. The most fascinating ability shown is Kecleon's color change. This unique ability allows Kecleon to change its type based on the type of attack it was hit by. So if it's hit by a water-type move, it becomes a water-type itself. This completely changes how you might approach battles, potentially allowing you to strategically manipulate Kecleon's type. A diagram shows how a battle against a Marill using Water Gun makes Kecleon change to Water type. Another cool discovery is the Pokemon information screen, accessible via the Pokénav. This lets you check detailed info about your caught Pokemon, including personal details like trainer ID, type, and importantly, whether or not they have an ability and what it is. It also shows trainer memos about when and where the Pokemon was caught and its nature. This Pokénav seems like a vital tool for understanding your team. The page teases that the Pokénav will be covered in more detail on page 18, promising even more new elements. These scoops reveal that Ruby and Sapphire are adding significant new mechanics like abilities, making battles and team building much deeper. This page continues our deep dive into the Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire demo, revealing more exciting finds. We discovered 3 new Pokémon in trainer battles, which is huge. Seeing evolved forms like Pelipper using moves like Knockoff for the first time is a big deal. We also got to look at Poochyena and Zigzagoon, which seem like common early-game Pokemon. A cool new feature is the introduction of Pokemon natures, like Naughty or Hardy, which are displayed on the information screen you access through the Pokénav, building on what we saw earlier. How these natures will affect battles and raising Pokemon is still a mystery, but it adds another layer to consider for your team, combining with the new abilities we heard about before. Speaking of battles, we saw some new moves, like Charm and Scary Face. The effects look much better thanks to the GBA hardware, but a burning question remains. The demo only featured new Pokemon from the Hoenn region. Will we be able to catch or trade for the original 251 Pokemon, or are we starting completely fresh? Players who tried the demo loved it, highlighting the beautiful graphics, the cuteness of the new Pokemon, and the potential for deep strategies with move and ability combinations. They're hyped for the full game, but many also wondered if their old favorites would make an appearance. The lines to play were packed, showing just how much anticipation there is for this next generation. The next page continues our deep dive into the Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire demo experience, this time focusing on the trainers we battled and some key mechanics of the new 2v2 system. We learned that the demo featured a total of 6 trainers. A big highlight was the introduction of the twin trainers, who battled us in the new 2v2 format. The text mentions they used Pokemon like Azurill and Volbeat, though curiously, the battle screenshots show Lickleap and Baltoy. Regardless, these 2v2 battles feel familiar yet new, requiring careful strategy on who to target. Beyond the twins, we also encountered classic trainer classes, like the Lady and the Hiker. The Lady was shown using Snorunt, and the Hiker battled with Pokemon, including Whiscash. It seems these familiar faces are bringing some interesting new Pokemon to the fight. We also got a closer look at battle mechanics. It's confirmed that turn order is, as expected, determined by a Pokemon's speed stat. An interesting point highlighted is the ability to target your own Pokemon with moves, opening up potential strategies. Furthermore, it seems that moves which lower stats, like those affecting speed or attack, can impact both opposing Pokemon in a 2v2 battle simultaneously, which is a huge deal for team strategy. This demo is revealing some deep layers to these battles. This page celebrates the release of the phenomenal Super Mario Sunshine, highlighting a special press conference held on the game's release date, July 19th, at Nintendo headquarters in Kyoto. The main headline playfully refers to the game as the game born from a water gun, nodding to Mario's essential new tool, Flood. Key figures from the development team, including the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto, producer Takashi Tezuka, and director Yoshiaki Koizumi, were present and shared insights into what makes Super Mario Sunshine so captivating. The page includes photos of the press conference itself, showing the setting in the main conference room at HQ, which apparently created a slightly nervous but exciting atmosphere for both the press and Nintendo staff. Also pictured is a small, iconic image of the Flood Pack, and some framed artwork within the building, adding a touch of Nintendo's history and flair. There's also a brief congratulatory message, perhaps for a specific section, or the magazine's own milestone. This event gave game magazines a direct look and discussion about one of the GameCube's most anticipated titles, right as it launched. This page continues the discussion around the launch of Super Mario Sunshine, featuring comments from the development team, but the main focus here is on the GameCube controller. The bold headline proudly declares the GameCube controller to be the easiest to play with in the world. We hear again from legendary producer Shigeru Miyamoto, who talks about how the 64 controller felt like a completely new world when it first appeared, and how many people found the stick position confusing. But with the GameCube controller, it feels natural and easy to play. Producer Takashi Tezuka shares his experience, admitting that after getting used to the GameCube controller, going back to the N64 controller feels really awkward. He finds the GameCube controller much more comfortable and straightforward now. Director Yoshiaki Koizumi mentions that he initially wondered about the grip positions of the GameCube controller, but found it felt completely natural while playing Super Mario Sunshine. He hopes that 10 years from now, this type of controller becomes the standard, stating that the GameCube controller is the greatest controller as of July 2002. The page also features lovely artwork of Princess Peach and Toad alongside the discussion, and a picture of the GameCube controller itself. The GameCube controller's RAR trigger, unlike the N64's, features analog input, a shift from simple on/off switches. This novel input, first appearing on the Super Famicom, was further developed with analog triggers on the N64 and GBA, but these earlier iterations were not analog. The GameCube's RAR trigger has a specific shuko feel, reminiscent of pumping a water gun, as described by director Koizumi. This sensory experience influenced the design of Super Mario Sunshine, leading to the creation of Mario's water sprayer, FL.UDD. While changing Mario's appearance was considered, the team ultimately prioritized maintaining his iconic look. The article concludes that the successful implementation of tools in Super Mario Sunshine could open doors for future, innovative, gameplay options. This page features an interview with Shigeru Miyamoto and Koji Koizumi discussing the development of Super Mario Sunshine. Following up on the unique feel of the GameCube's RA trigger that inspired FLUDD, Koizumi recounts Miyamoto's initial worry that giving Mario a toy-like pump might make him too wild. However, the water gun concept became a central keyword, and development began with this focus. Miyamoto emphasizes the goal of making a new game distinct from previous entries. The team experimented extensively with water, including contrasting clean water with dirty, oily water. Koizumi describes the core image of FL.UDDD as akin to a firefighter, carrying a tool to help others, incorporating playful, almost toy-level ideas. He stresses that FLULDD wasn't primarily an attack weapon, but a feature that added to the overall Nintendo feel. The setting of Isle Delfino is discussed as a deliberate departure from the Mushroom Kingdom, intended to feel like a foreign country, which Miyamoto found slightly strange when seeing regular people interacting with Mario. Early experiments involved using water to draw and erase graffiti, directly linking to the gameplay of cleaning the polluted island, a key objective in the final game. Wall kicking is also mentioned as an included move. This page features an urgent report diving deeper into the development of Super Mario Sunshine, following up on the previous discussion with Shigeru Miyamoto and Koji Koizumi. The article focuses heavily on the game's difficulty and design, particularly the inclusion of challenging athletic stages. Miyamoto discusses how the spirit of modern Mario includes high freedom, but also contrasts it with simpler strategy stages. Koizumi reflects on the game's structure, noting the enjoyment despite repeated failures, but acknowledging a slight regret that some challenging sections are mandatory to progress. He emphasizes how the FL.UDD pump, especially the hover nozzle, significantly impacts gameplay, allowing for multiple routes and making tricky platforming more approachable. They discuss the balance between the hover making the game comfortable, even describing it like a jump game in a place without gravity, and the need for the difficult, NOFLUDD, athletic stages to maintain the classic Mario challenge and game balance. Screenshots illustrate these points, showing precarious platforms and hover usage. Ultimately, completing these tough sections provides a satisfying feeling of returning to the core Mario experience. Photos of Miyamoto, Koizumi, and Tezuka are also included. This page features an interview with the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto, who discusses Super Mario Sunshine and the significant 10-year gap since the previous main 3D entry, Super Mario 64. Miyamoto reveals his goal was to create a game truly accessible to everyone, from children to grandparents, that could be picked up and enjoyed immediately. He reflects, however, that despite this intention, he feels the game might still be challenging for those returning to gaming after such a long hiatus, which he considers a slight regret. Miyamoto also talks about the evolution of Mario and other characters, like Princess Peach, Luigi, and Yoshi, solidifying their role as Nintendo's core mascots to be used across various game genres. He touches upon using a new development system that allows for faster game creation, a system first utilized for Sunshine. He briefly mentions the upcoming release of The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, hinting at future Nintendo endeavors. Miyamoto closes by humorously suggesting that playing a new Mario game every year is a way to stay relevant in the modern era. The page is adorned with a dynamic image of Mario using his FL.UDD pack, a photo of Miyamoto, and a charming image featuring Mario, Peach, Luigi, and Yoshi together. This page is a splashy feature on Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube. It prominently displays the game's logo and the iconic Shine sprite. The box provides key details confirming the game is on sale for 6,800 yen, is an action game for one player, and requires 7 blocks for save data. The main focus is a massive 28-page 3D map guide, boasting it's faster or more comprehensive than others. Exciting reveals are teased, including the first public look at new areas like Mantuma Beach and Pinna Park. Furthermore, the page promises the true identity of the enigmatic, mysterious shadow will finally be brought to light. The artwork is fantastic, showcasing Mario in action with his FL.UDD pack, riding Yoshi high above Isle Delfino. Princess Peach, Toadsworth, Piantas, and even the shadowy figure are visible, setting the scene for the tropical adventure. It looks like an essential guide for anyone diving into the game. This page dives deeper into the tropical world of Super Mario Sunshine, explaining how to unlock new areas from the main hub, Delfino Plaza. It shows the familiar map of the plaza with paths leading to different locations, highlighting that collecting Shine sprites is key to progression. First up, unlocking Gelato Beach, called Manama Beach here, requires you to gather 5 Shine sprites. A news report reveals the lighthouse on the eastern beach is gone, swallowed by goop. Head over there, spray the goop, and you'll face off against a Dora drop. Defeat it by spraying water into its open mouth, and the lighthouse returns with a glowing M on its wall, opening the path to Gelato Beach. Next, to reach Pinna Park, you'll need a total of 10 Shine sprites. A suspicious boat appears at the western pier, and Princess Peach is kidnapped yet again. A cutscene shows the mysterious shadow figure, whisking her away to Pinna Island. Since you can't give chase directly, you use a nearby cannon to launch yourself straight towards Pinna Park. The page excitingly teases that clearing the first story in Pinna Park will finally reveal the true identity of the mysterious shadow. This page is packed with essential info on how to progress and find those awesome new locations, featuring screenshots of the goop-covered lighthouse, the Dora drop enemy, the infamous kidnapping scene, and the cannon used for transport. It's a great guide for getting deeper into the game's world. This page focuses on Delfino Plaza in Super Mario Sunshine, the main hub world where you find entrances to various stages and challenging mini-courses. It highlights that collecting Shine sprites is the key to unlocking new areas and progressing through the game. The plaza itself is also packed with secrets and hidden shines. The page details how to get several specific Shine sprites found within Delfino Plaza itself, not just from the main levels. Methods include washing a mysterious bell found high up, getting thrown by a character who appears after visiting Pinna Park, clearing a box-breaking challenge at a shop, which can award 2 shines, washing a particular spot on the beach near a sprinkler, and even spraying a golden bird that appears once Pinna Park is accessible. These are just a few of the many shines hidden around the town. It also mentions the difficult mini-courses, showing a screenshot of one with tricky platforms, and warns that falling means failure. The map of Delfino Plaza is featured, showing the locations of these specific shines and the paths leading to the different stages like Pinna Park and others. It's a great guide for players looking to uncover all the secrets the bustling plaza has to offer. This page continues the Super Mario Sunshine Guide for Delfino Plaza, focusing on some tough challenges and hidden items. It details 2 distinct mini-courses you can tackle: the slide and the pachinko machine. Getting the shine from the slide course requires careful navigation across precarious platforms using your hover nozzle, while the pachinko machine demands skillful flood use to collect red coins on a massive pinball board, with failure resulting in falling out. The guide gives pointers for these, like adjusting your path on the slide and using a spin jump to reach the pachinko entrance. Beyond those, it also shows how to snag blue coins by spraying blue birds or hidden spots, and where to find easy one-up mushrooms scattered around the plaza. This page dives into the vibrant but polluted Bianco Hills in Super Mario Sunshine, guiding players on how to clean up the area. It features an overhead map showing the layout of the village and surrounding area. The guide covers several key challenges, starting with clearing the path to the Great Windmill by tackling a giant manta ray boss, suggesting attacking it from the floating platforms in the water. Next up is the first encounter with Petey Piranha, where the strategy involves forcing him to drink water until he's bloated, then using a ground pound. Story 3 unveils the secret of a mysterious cave on a cliff, leading to a challenging athletic course over precarious platforms. Story 4 focuses on collecting red coins scattered throughout Bianco Village, noting that completing this earns you the rocket nozzle, a new flood attachment that allows for high vertical movement and is essential for later challenges here. Finally, Story 5 shows Petey Piranha's return, this time flying, requiring Mario to use floating creatures called Popo as makeshift platforms for the battle. The page emphasizes that the rocket nozzle obtained in Story 4 is crucial for progressing in Bianco Hill's stories that follow. This page delves further into the challenges awaiting in Super Mario Sunshine's Bianco Hills, focusing on Story 3. A mysterious cave has appeared on the cliff above the village, leading to a challenging athletic course. Upon entering the cave, Shadow Mario makes an appearance and steals Flood, leaving Mario to navigate the course, using only his inherent jumping abilities. The guide emphasizes that this makes the footing unstable and the difficulty quite high. The first time completing this course rewards Mario with a shine. Revisiting the cave for the second challenge requires collecting 8 red coins within a strict time limit to earn another shine. The page also provides a map showing the paths to the cave entrance and explains 2 methods to reach it: following a rope across or using a spin jump and wall kicks from below. Finally, it details how to obtain blue coins in Bianco Hills by cleaning the mud off certain Monty characters, noting that these specific coin-giving Montes only appear from Story 3 onwards. This guide details completing Story 3's athletic course in Super Mario Sunshine's Bianco Hills. The first playthrough focuses on navigating without flood, emphasizing tricky steps, gaps, and rotating cubes. The second run, timed at 1 minute, challenges players to collect 8 red coins. The guide provides a map, strategies for each coin, and tips like using the hover nozzle for quick collection. Reaching the final coin may involve a running start, jump, and hover. Hip-dropping pegs can reveal coins or a one-up. Failure to collect all coins within the time limit results in instant game over. The next page dives into Story 4 of Super Mario Sunshine in Bianco Hills, where the mission is to collect 8 red coins to earn a shine sprite. The big twist here is getting your hands on the awesome rocket nozzle. The guide shows you where to find it on a new platform out on the lake. Once you grab it, collecting those tricky high-up coins becomes a breeze. The rocket nozzle lets Mario pull off massive vertical jumps, though you can't hover at the same time, so timing is key. There's a handy map showing all 8 red coin locations around the village, along with tips for specific coins, like using the camera view to line up jumps, or being careful on narrow platforms. The guide even throws in a challenge technique for hardcore players, explaining how you can collect all the coins using just the hover nozzle and wall kicks, proving you're a true master of Mario's moves. It's all about using the right tool for the job, whether it's the powerful rocket nozzle or the versatile hover. This page covers Story 5 in Super Mario Sunshine's Bianco Hills, where the giant boss piranha plant you thought was defeated is back for a rematch. The first step is getting up to the high hill overlooking the valley. If you grab the rocket nozzle in Story 4, it makes reaching the top a breeze with its super high jumps. Once you're up there, you'll spot the boss piranha plant sleeping soundly on a small island across the way. To wake this massive plant up, you need to use the little bird-like enemies called Popos scattered nearby. The trick is to spray water on the Popos until they puff up and turn red. Then they'll attach to Mario. Once one is stuck to you, aim it using Mario's direct perspective and launch it right into the boss piranha plant's mouth. Landing a hit will get its attention and start the proper boss fight. Don't forget to clean up the goop around the area and break open smaller enemies for extra water if you need refills. This page dives back into Super Mario Sunshine's Bianco Hills for the big rematch against the flying boss Piranha Plant in Story 3. It explains that when the boss first wakes up, it flies around spitting goop, but your FL.U.D spray won't do much damage until it gets closer. The key is to clean up the mess and prepare for the real fight. To defeat the airborne boss, you need to spray it with water to knock it down. Once it crashes to the ground, it'll open its mouth wide.
This is your chance. Spray water into its mouth repeatedly until it keels over, exposing its vulnerable belly button. Hit it with a powerful hip drop. You'll need to repeat this process 3 times to finally take down this oversized plant for good. The page also gives some fantastic tips on finding hidden blue coins in Bianco Hills. It reveals that as you clear more episodes in the same stage, new blue coins will appear. The total number you can collect increases significantly. Some hidden coins are found by interacting with the environment, like spraying a specific banana tree that changes after Story 3. Others are earned by defeating new enemies that show up later, such as one that appears on top of the windmill after Story 3, or a flower-headed enemy that pops out of the ground. Keep an eye out for these evolving secrets. This page shifts focus to Rico Harbor in Super Mario Sunshine, detailing how to tackle the towering steel structures and hidden secrets of this port area. It focuses on stories 1 through 5, highlighting the unique challenges of navigating ships, scaffolding, and using the camera effectively in tight spots. The guide walks you through several key objectives. In Story 1, you'll face off against the boss Saussure found within a container, needing to strategically pull its legs and mouth to defeat it. Story 2 is all about speed and skill in the Go-Go squid surfing races, where you need to hit specific times to earn shines, with tips on using shortcuts. Story 3 involves a high-altitude climb to reach a shine trapped inside a giant cage suspended over the harbor, requiring skillful use of the steel frames like trampolines. Story 4 takes you inside Rico Tower for an athletic course filled with rotating platforms leading to another shine. Finally, Story 5 brings a rematch with the boss Saussure, this time appearing at the heliport for a more confined battle demanding quick action. The page includes screenshots of the boss fights, the squid surfing, the challenging climbs, and the tower entrance, alongside a helpful overview map of the entire Rico Harbor area with points of interest marked. It emphasizes careful movement and camera control as essential skills for conquering this complex stage. This page continues the guide for Super Mario Sunshine's Rico Harbor, focusing on the methods to achieve objectives. It breaks down the steps for Story 3, which involves climbing the complex steel structure to reach the giant cage. The guide shows how to get onto the roof of the main building, navigate the steel beams, and deal with the pesky Gooper Troopas by squirting them with water to knock them off the narrow platforms. The page also highlights other collectibles, specifically 2 methods for getting blue coins. One involves cleaning up an X graffiti mark and then performing a pipe slide to grab the coin that appears, and another requires defeating the Casa enemies clinging to the wire mesh of a ship, 2 of which hold blue coins. The screenshots effectively illustrate the platforming challenges and enemy encounters in this area. This page continues the guide for Super Mario Sunshine's Rico Harbor, detailing how to complete more objectives. It covers Story 2, which involves using a sliding crane to cross wire mesh platforms and reach the location where you obtain the rocket nozzle, while also having to deal with Gooper Troopas. The guide shows how to navigate the rotating platforms on the mesh. It then moves on to part of Story 3, showing the path across a series of trampolines, how to avoid the wind guys, Kazikun, that try to blow you off, and finally jumping into the large cage at the top to collect the shine sprite. The page also includes a challenge technique, offering a faster way to reach the wire mesh in Story 2 by skipping the crane entirely. Finally, a hidden coin tip explains how to get a blue coin located on top of a large crane near the start of the level by flying onto it from a nearby ship. The screenshots throughout the page clearly illustrate the platforming challenges and specific points mentioned in the text. This page continues the Super Mario Sunshine guide for Rico Harbor, now focusing on Story 4, challenging the athletic course located inside the tower in the material yard. It highlights 2 primary ways to reach the base of the tower, either by using the hover nozzle to jump from a nearby building, or by using the rocket nozzle from the ground level, noting that the rocket nozzle can be found on the building's roof. The guide then delves into the athletic course itself, emphasizing the difficulty posed by the constantly rotating and twisting platforms. It advises players to deal with these challenges calmly,
paying close attention to distance and direction when jumping to avoid falling. Specific tips are given for navigating the angled platforms, suggesting using their protrusions as visual guides and keeping the camera aligned directly in front for a clear view of the rotation. Another tip recommends timing jumps to land on platforms when they are as horizontal as possible. There's also a handy tip for obtaining a 1-up mushroom located above one of the platforms by using a wall kick. The page covers the subsequent sections, including navigating gear-like platforms by jumping carefully one by one and dealing with the final twisting platforms by moving quickly to the next stable section. This section provides crucial strategies for mastering this challenging platforming test. This Super Mario Sunshine guide details completing the athletic course's red coins in Story 4 of Rico Harbor. Players should use the hover nozzle strategically and remain calm. Specific techniques are provided for each red coin, including jump and hover for the first 2, wall kicks for the third and fourth, and precise hovering/jumping for the final 3, using the coin's shadows as a guide. 4 hidden blue coins are also detailed, requiring muck removal, box breaking, wall spraying, and rocket nozzle use. This page lays out the strategy for taking down the revived giant Gooper Blooper during Story 4 in Super Mario Sunshine's Rico Harbor, right there on the helipad. It shows you 2 main ways to reach the helipad, either using the hover nozzle from the pathway and jumping across, or utilizing the rocket nozzle to boost up from below the platform. The main event, the boss fight, is similar to the first encounter but with a dangerous new twist. You still need to grab and pull off the Gooper Blooper's tentacles, but now it adds a spinning attack with its legs that you absolutely must dodge by jumping. Once the spinning stops, quickly spray its face with Flood to deal damage. The page also highlights how to snag a blue coin by defeating a smaller Gooper Blooper trapped in a cage and getting the rocket nozzle to reach an M graffiti mark on a nearby cliff face, hinting at another collectible waiting for you. This page delves into the sunny world of Mama Beach, known as Pinapark in Super Mario Sunshine, and showcases the various interactive elements you'll encounter. It features a map of the area and details 4 specific story missions. One key mechanic highlighted is the Sprout, which reacts to being sprayed with Flood, capable of growing, raising the ground, or even lowering it, playing a vital role in certain missions. Story 1 covers using these mysterious sprouts to build a sandcastle and access an athletic course. Story 2 describes a strange situation involving a wobbling mirror and the appearance of a colossal wiggler wrapped around the central tower. This leads into Story 3, where that giant wiggler goes on a rampage across the beach, becoming a full-blown boss fight that Mario must win to restore order. Finally, Story 4 focuses on the hatching of a large egg belonging to a creature called Usanadiri, requiring Mario to pursue it after it disappears from its nest. The page includes screenshots illustrating the sandcastle, the wiggler on the tower, the boss wiggler, and characters discussing the hatched egg. The next page focuses on the first mission for Mama Beach, titled Story 1, Mysterious Mushroom and the Sandcastle, where your objective is to find the hidden shine sprite within the sandcastle that appears on the beach. To start this mission, you need to spray water on the sand sprout, located near a protrusion on the left side of the beach after beginning. This will cause a sand mountain to rise and form the temporary sandcastle. The guide stresses the importance of entering quickly, as the castle will crumble after a short time. It also warns you to be mindful of the piranha plants in the area while spraying. Once inside the castle, the main challenge is an athletic course to reach the shine sprite at the top. The page offers tips for navigating this course, emphasizing the need for good distance judgment when jumping gaps. It recommends adjusting your camera angle for a better view. Be cautious of the white blocks, as they sink shortly after you step on them. Stick to the brown platforms where possible. The side somersault is highlighted as an effective technique for quickly ascending parts of the course. Finally, when approaching the platform leading to the shine sprite, it's safest to use side somersaults to get close but a standard jump for the final step. This story requires finding 3 shine sprites in total, 2 from within the athletic course, and 1 hidden elsewhere on the beach. This page dives deeper into Mama Beach in Super Mario Sunshine, continuing the guide for Story 1. One key objective covered is collecting the 8 red coins within the time limit. It highlights that the 1-minute time limit is strict, but the ability to use the hover nozzle, which wasn't available in previous attempts, is a significant advantage. The strategy here is to utilize hover jumps extensively to quickly navigate the course and grab the coins, saving precious seconds. The page also reveals the location of another hidden shine sprite on the beach. This one is found by spraying water on a specific sand mound near the cliff, causing stairs to appear. Spray the wall that appears after the stairs to make the shine emerge and fly off to the central plaza. Be quick, as the stairs are temporary. Finally, the guide points out hidden blue coins on Mama Beach.
By spraying certain spots on the sand, a green outline will appear, and continuous spraying will reveal a blue coin. There are 3 of these specific blue coins. One near the protrusion by the sea, one in the center of the beach, and one on the far side near the starting point. These blue coins reappear if they vanish after some time. To defeat the Chuhana and earn a shine sprite on Mama Beach, Story 3, utilize the hip drop technique. Spray the Chuhana with water to push them towards the edge, then drop from a higher vantage point for maximum effect. The first mirror has 1 Chuhana, the second 2, and the third 3. For multiple Chuhana, use water to separate them and push them individually. The final challenge involves a cliffside mirror with 3 Chuhana and requires careful positioning to avoid being surrounded. A blue coin is obtainable on the cliff. Spray a blue bird perched on a rope to drop the coin. This page details the boss fight against Hana-chan in Super Mario Sunshine's Mama Beach, Story 3. The goal is to defeat the large caterpillar-like boss to earn a shine sprite. The strategy involves first flipping Hana-chan onto his back. This is achieved by luring him towards the special sand piles scattered around the beach. Once he trips over one and is upside down, a weak point, marked by an arrow, appears on his belly. You must quickly jump onto him and perform a hip drop directly on this marked spot to inflict damage. The weak point's location changes after each successful hit. Hana-chan needs to be hit 3 times to be defeated. He becomes faster after the second hit, so be prepared to act quickly. Once you land the third hip drop, the shine sprite will appear on the beach. The page also briefly mentions collecting blue coins within the general store on the beach, by spraying items like the register or the juice on the counter, and also by diving underwater. This page jumps into Story 4 of Super Mario Sunshine's Mama Beach, which is all about getting the red coins on top of the mysterious sandbird. Your mission is to snag all 8 red coins scattered across the sandbird's body as it flies and moves. Getting to the level involves a bit of platforming, climbing up the cliff, sliding down, and using a well-timed jump on a trampoline to launch yourself into the hole leading to the sandbird's aerial course. Navigating the sandbird requires careful movement. The tail is flexible, and moving sideways is key to avoiding getting thrown off when it turns. Once you collect the first 7 coins, the 8th and final red coin is waiting on top of a nearby tower, requiring you to reach the very top of the sandbird and make a jump across. The page also gives a tip for grabbing a blue coin on Mama Beach. Head to the house on the west side near the ocean, grab a coconut from one of the trees, and throw it into the mixer up on the roof. Pop goes the coconut, and out comes a blue coin. Just remember, the shine sprite here isn't available yet, so focus on the main story objectives first. This page dives into the vibrant world of Pinna Park in Super Mario Sunshine. After Peach is kidnapped again and a typhoon passes, the cannon on the southeast island is finally repaired, providing Mario access to this new area. Pinna Park itself is split into 2 distinct parts, Pinna Beach and the amusement park proper, with all the main stories starting on the beach. The big reveal happens here in Pinna Park, as the true identity of the mysterious shadow-stalking Mario is finally unmasked. The page highlights key stories within the park. Story 1 features a direct confrontation where the Shadow unleashes Mecha Bowser, leading to a missile-dodging battle that uncovers the Shadow's identity. Story 3, listed before Story 2 here, takes you onto a thrilling, swinging pirate ship ride, where you collect red coins amidst the rocking motion. Story 2 challenges Mario inside a cannon, dodging homing bullet bills and navigating tricky disappearing floors in a rewarding obstacle course. The page also shows an overhead map giving a full view of the park layout and screenshots of the action in these specific story missions. This page dives deeper into the action at Pinna Park in Super Mario Sunshine, specifically covering the events of Story 1, where the mysterious Shadow leads Mario on a chase. You'll follow the Shadow figure through the park towards the large fountain, dealing with pesky shell-throwing enemies along the way. The guide advises simply ignoring them or giving them a quick spray if you must. The chase reaches its climax as the fountain gives way to the imposing giant Mecha Bowser. After defeating this mechanical monstrosity, the mysterious Shadow is revealed to be none other than Bowser Jr., who is convinced Mario is the bad guy holding his mother, Princess Peach. The page also covers the intense Mecha Bowser boss fight itself,
which takes place on a thrilling jet coaster ride. As you speed along the track, you need to grab pump missiles and strategically fire them at Mecha Bowser 4 times to take him down, all while dodging incoming bullet bills. Finally, there's a neat little tip on how to snag a blue coin within the park. By finding stacks of polluted piranhas and spraying them with water from top to bottom to separate them, you can then stomp the largest one to collect the coin. Using the first-person view is recommended for the best aim.
This page moves on to Story 2 within Super Mario Sunshine's Pinnapark, where the objective is to defeat a menacing cannon to unlock a new athletic challenge. The guide details the approach, advising players to dodge the different types of bullet bills fired from the cannon, including the purple homing variety, as they make their way closer. Once near the cannon, the strategy shifts to offense. You'll need to pick up the bombs that appear and throw them at the cannon. Hitting it multiple times will destroy it. The page also reveals a clever trick for obtaining a blue coin. By luring a homing bullet bill into a specific basket on the beach, you can smash it open to grab the coin inside. Finally, there's a little note highlighting the strange fact that the amusement park seems completely deserted, with a sign indicating it's closed for the season, adding a bit of intrigue to the situation. Defeating the cannon grants access to the athletic course contained within, offering a new challenge.
This page dives right into the athletic course found in Pinnapark Story 3 in Super Mario Sunshine. The main challenge here is mastering the platforms that appear and disappear, requiring you to carefully judge their timing to cross the gaps. For the first objective, simply reaching the end of the course to grab the shine sprite, the guide points out that the platforms disappear slowly at first, making the right-hand path relatively easier. It advises ignoring the lower branching path and suggests using the B button for a quick dive/slide move on the platforms that vanish quickly later on. There's also mention of using a trampoline to reach higher ground. The second objective involves collecting 8 red coins scattered throughout the course, and this is where the difficulty ramps up. Since you'll have Flood and the hover nozzle equipped for this run, the guide strongly recommends using it to save yourself if you misjudge a jump or are about to fall. It's a lifesaver. Specific tips include using a running long jump combined with hover to reach the red coin in the center that has no floor beneath it, and ignoring the 1-up mushroom block to save time. Once you've snagged all 8 red coins, the shine sprite appears right after the final coin, so be ready to grab it without falling off the now stable platform. Using the hover nozzle effectively is key to success and speed on this challenging course. This page focuses on collecting the red coins located around the swinging pirate ship attraction in Pinnapark's Story 3 in Super Mario Sunshine. It explains how to ride the pirate ship and time your jumps and hovers to reach the various red coins scattered on the ships and the surrounding nets. The guide emphasizes using Flood's hover nozzle to make the platforming easier and safer as the ships swing back and forth. It details specific maneuvers, like jumping from the tip of the ship or between the ships, to grab the coins. The page also includes a section on finding hidden blue coins within this area, specifically those marked by graffiti shapes like triangles and XS. You'll need to spray the graffiti with Flood to reveal the blue coin underneath. The tips guide you on finding these graffiti marks in different spots, and then collecting the coins once they appear. This page continues the detailed guide for Super Mario Sunshine, focusing on collecting specific coins in Pinnapark's Story 3. It lays out strategies for grabbing the red coins found on the nets around the swinging pirate ships, explaining how to use the ships as platforms, time your jumps, and utilize Mario's hover and hip drop abilities. There's even a section detailing a more challenging method to reach these nets without relying on the pirate ships, involving precise wall kicks and hovering. The guide also covers how to collect coins associated with defeating enemies like the Electro Koopa Troopas, recommending you hip drop them from the nets above. Finally, it shows you how to snag a hidden blue coin by riding the back of the pirate ship as it swings. The multiple screenshots clearly illustrate each step of these coin collecting maneuvers, guiding you through this tricky area of the park. This Fire Emblem, the Binding Blade Guide, delves into the game's intricate branching storylines and powerful divine weapons. 2 major choices in chapters 9 and 16 drastically alter the narrative, affecting map access and character recruitment, e.g., Echidna, Elfin, Juno, Dion. Unlocking the true final chapter requires collecting all 8 divine weapons, each obtainable through specific side quests, Gaiden, with unique conditions. The guide details these conditions and provides a list of the weapons, like Durandal and Forblaze, along with their stats and effects.
Finally, it offers strategic advice on using the light magic divine weapon, Aureola, suggesting training Ellen, Saul, or Yodel for optimal results. This Fire Emblem. The Binding Blade Guide details the support system. Players build relationships between units through adjacent positioning, triggering conversations that unlock stat boosts. Support partners are fixed, with a maximum of 9 per unit, and likelihood is indicated by symbols: star, circle, triangle. Support effects progress through 5 stages. Boosting stats when units are within 3 spaces of each other. A table shows stat bonuses based on elemental affinities: fire, thunder, etc. The guide provides a complete list of units, genders, elements, potential support partners, and likelihood symbols, emphasizing strategic partner selection for optimal team performance. This Fire Emblem. The Binding Blade Guide provides in-depth unit data detailing how units grow and recruit. A comprehensive table lists every character's initial class, potential promotion, and stat growth ratings, SE. It also specifies recruitment conditions, from initial chapters to character interactions, village visits, or chapter completion. The guide explains the Fire Emblem triangle attack strategy, demonstrating how positioning 3 specific units correctly guarantees a hit and critical, using examples like the Ostia and Edessa Knights. Finally, it provides a star-based combat power rating for each unit, making it easy to assess their strength. This information is crucial for building a strong army and maximizing unit potential. Fire Emblem. The Binding Blade features hidden elements, like secret shops in chapters 16 and 21, selling rare items for army upgrades. Unlockable trial maps, accessed via the extra menu, offer challenging scenarios after completing the main story. Beating the game multiple times with different endings unlocks more trial maps and special units like Zephiel and Narcian. Finally, a character popularity contest crowns Luff as the top choice, with Roy, Shanna, Ray, and Clarine following close behind. This page dives deep into the post-game secrets and additional content available in Golden Sun, The Lost Age. It reveals how players can unlock exciting new features using clear data, including save data from the first game, Golden Sun, The Broken Seal. The Double Secret section highlights the hidden content, focusing on transferring data from the Broken Seal to acquire all Jinn and gain access to the challenging Animos Sanctum hidden dungeon, culminating in a battle against the formidable boss, Dullahan. There's an image showing the dungeon map, hinting at its complexity. Clearing Golden Sun. The Lost Age unlocks 2 distinct new game modes. The Relaxed mode is perfect for players who want to re-experience the story without the pressure of difficult combat, featuring easier battles and a focus on puzzles and narrative, shown with a peaceful screenshot of characters on a ship. For those seeking the ultimate test, the Hardcore mode throws you into battles against significantly powered-up enemies right from the start, demanding strategic mastery of Jinn and summons, depicted by an intense combat screenshot. These features offer substantial replayability and challenge for fans who have completed the main adventure. This page continues the deep dive into Golden Sun, The Lost Age, guiding players on the journey to cross the Great Eastern Sea and reach the mysterious South Island. The strategy flowchart lays out the path, starting in Diritri village, visiting the Sea God's shrine to acquire key items like the Drop of the Sea God and the Right Prong, then moving on to Yaralam village and the challenging Taupo swamp, where a Venus Jinni awaits. Along the way you'll tackle locations like Aqua Rock and eventually the South Island Lighthouse. A major focus here is the valuable crafting system. You'll learn that finding rusted gear in the Eastern Sea shallows is crucial. Take these items to the skilled blacksmith, Sunpaw, in Yaralam village, and he can forge them into powerful equipment like the rusted mace becoming the Hagbone mace, or the rusted staff becoming the Rod of Rapture. The page also highlights discovering the secret behind a children's song learned in Yaralam. This section gives crucial pointers for gathering essential Jinn, items, and gear needed to progress through this expansive new area of the game world. This Golden Sun, The Lost Age strategy guide, details navigating the Taupo swamp, a key region on the path to South Island. It provides detailed maps and screenshots for finding a treasure chest and acquiring the Venus Jinni, Flint. The guide emphasizes using synergy, aqua, frost, move, etc., for environmental puzzles, like creating platforms, cooling rocks to create stepping stones, and redirecting lava flows. Techniques involve using scoop to unearth stardust, and potentially rope, catch grip, and the Cyclone Jinni. The guide covers the swamp's layout and associated caves/dungeons.
This page continues the comprehensive strategy guide for Golden Sun, The Lost Age. It details how to access Aqua Rock on the Galapa Archipelago by using Aqua Synergy at a specific stone, leading to the Jupiter Genie Hydra. Inside Aqua Rock, you'll learn the Dry Synergy, essential for navigating the area and obtaining the Mercury Genie Mellow and the Mars Genie Cinder. The guide then moves to South Island, where navigating a tower grants you the powerful Burst Synergy and a piece of the key item, Hokosaki. You also find the Mars Genie Spark here, and are reminded to collect other valuable items, like the Lightning Sword. South Island is also home to rare virus enemies that you can encounter and battle after getting burst, with strategies focusing on slowing them down and inflicting status effects. Finally, a major section covers a multi-part item trading quest across several small islands. This Straw Millionaire-style event involves trading items obtained from various creatures and people on islands near South Island, Angara, Oceania, and Indra. Completing this sequence, which involves helping a turtle reach a cave, leads you to battle and recruit the Venus Genie Forge. This page continues the detailed strategy guide for Golden Sun, The Lost Age, focusing on navigating the challenging Aqua Rock and the surrounding areas near South Island. The guide breaks down the puzzles into numbered steps, illustrating how to use synergy like Aqua and move to manipulate the environment. You'll learn how to control water flow by moving rocks and using Aqua on specific stones, which can change the direction of waterfalls or reveal hidden paths. The guide also shows how to navigate tricky sections by timing movements with water currents and using ladders. Later steps demonstrate using Chill Synergy to freeze puddles and create ice platforms to cross gaps, and using Move to clear paths blocked by steam. The guide highlights locations where useful items such as the Mist Saber, Heal Nuts, Revive Vials, Oil Drops, Energy Stones, and Crystal Powder can be found. A world map segment provides context for these locations. The overall goal is to master the environmental puzzles within Aqua Rock and the nearby tower to progress. This page continues the comprehensive strategy guide for Golden Sun, The Lost Age, focusing on navigating the complex puzzles within the Aqua Rock and connecting caverns. It picks up where the previous page left off, detailing how to use various synergy abilities to overcome environmental challenges. The guide walks you through using the Move Synergy to push rocks to create bridges and manipulate floating platforms. It explains how the Aqua Synergy can fill depressions to create paths, or be used on specific statues to trigger mechanisms. Mastering the timing of movements with water currents is also covered. Later sections introduce the Dry Synergy, showing how to acquire it using the Aquarius's Will item, and then utilize it to evaporate water, revealing new paths and allowing access to previously unreachable areas. The guide specifically points out locations where you can obtain valuable items, like the Rusty Sword, and instructs you on how to acquire the Mellow Djinn by using Dry to dry up a river near a statue, leading to a battle with the Djinn. These steps are crucial for progressing through the dungeon and collecting essential items and allies for your journey. The next page continues the strategy guide for Golden Sun, The Lost Age, focusing on the challenging icy region around South Island Tower, reachable after crossing the Great Eastern Sea. It details how to navigate this treacherous area, using synergy like Dry to evaporate water and Move to shift ice blocks. The guide outlines specific steps for sliding across ice paths and solving puzzles, including using the newly acquired Burst Synergy, enabled by the Burst Brooch, to break through ice. You'll learn how to find helpful items such as the Sylph Feather, Lucky Metal, Lightning Sword, Heal Drop, Guard Nut, and Crystal Powder. The page also guides you to the locations of the Gust Djinn and the Whirlwind Synergy, essential for progression, and how to obtain the important Middle Hokosaki item. This page features the logo for Star Fox, alongside the Japanese title, OWN, which translates to Star Fox Farewell, My Love Falco. The illustration shows Andrew Oikani, General Pepper's nephew, and a recurring antagonist in the series. He is depicted in a dramatic pose with a villainous grin. Beside him is Romaji text that reads, Tuini watashi no kenkyu ga kansasuru tokida, haha, meaning, finally my research is complete, haha. This looks like a page introducing a story or comic, focused on Andrew Oikani, and possibly involving Falco. The bottom credits show this content is copyrighted by Nintendo in 2002, based on original work by Nintendo Company, Limited, with cooperation from Nintendo Dream, manga by Shigehisa Nakauchi, Nintendo Dream, and supervised by Takaya Imamura, Nintendo. It sets the stage for some kind of antagonistic plot from Oikani involving Falco. This page jumps into the action, showing Fox McCloud in his R-Wing spotting Falco Lombardi emerging from a large ship in a different, smaller craft. A surprised Fox asks, "Why is Falco coming from that ship?" Falco confirms his presence, declaring, "No mistake, it's Falco." He then turns his gaze to Fox with a determined look, stating, "Even if it's you, Fox, I won't let you interfere." The lower panels depict gameplay elements, showing targets and combat, indicating that Falco is taking decisive action, possibly against Fox's implicit opposition. This page continues the comic storyline, focusing on Falco's sudden appearance and seemingly independent objectives. This page continues the dramatic confrontation, opening with a sound of surprise or shock. Fox McCloud, still in his R-Wing, reacts to Falco's actions, questioning, "Are you serious? Falco?" Falco Lombardi, piloting his own ship, responds defiantly, saying, "All right, I'll take you on," or "Bring it on." The subsequent panels depict the action unfolding, showing both Fox's R-Wing and Falco's distinct blue and white craft engaging in combat with energy blasts and intense maneuvering, emphasizing the sudden and serious conflict between the two former teammates. It appears Falco is not only acting independently, but is now actively opposing Fox. This page dives deeper into the intense dogfight between Fox McCloud and Falco Lombardi, continuing right from the previous page's confrontation. Fox is clearly caught off guard, reacting with surprise, asking, "Up!" as his R-Wing fires. He quickly realizes the situation is dire, exclaiming, "Damn it, I lost sight of him!" But the ever-confident Falco, shown in a close-up, taunts Fox, asserting, "I can see you!" It then becomes clear how Falco gained the advantage. He's hidden himself inside the sun, a classic maneuver to blind his opponent. Fox, frustrated by Falco's tactical brilliance, can only react with a simple, exasperated, "Damn it!" The page effectively portrays the high-stakes aerial combat and Falco's cunning strategy against his former teammate. This page continues the intense Star Fox 64 dogfight between Fox McCloud and Falco Lombardi. A key strategic point is revealed in a text box, explaining that the R-Wing's main vulnerability is a brief power down after using the rolling shield defense, creating a momentary opening when checking the surroundings. Falco, having outmaneuvered Fox, is shown exploiting this exact weakness. He confidently declares, "The match is on!" as he takes aim. Fox is caught off guard and reacts with frustration, shouting, "No way is that happening!" The panel layout dramatically builds tension as Falco appears to be landing a decisive blow on his former teammate. This page depicts the climactic moment of the dogfight between Falco Lombardi and Fox McCloud. Falco's attack lands, leaving Fox disoriented, exclaiming, "Ugh! Blinding!" Falco follows up rapidly, unleashing devastating charged shots from his R-Wing and confidently declaring, "This is the end!" Fox, seemingly caught off guard and in a precarious position, can only react with a frustrated "TCH" as the powerful blasts bear down on him. It appears Falco has successfully cornered the Star Fox leader. This page throws us right into a chaotic dogfight. It looks like Wolf O'Donnell and his team, Star Wolf, have crashed the party. The top panel shows Wolf's signature ship, the Wolfen, tearing through the sky, unleashing those deadly green lasers. The action is intense, with speed lines everywhere. Next, we see an R-Wing, likely Fox's or Falco's, also getting tagged by the green enemy fire. It's a sudden, overwhelming attack. The third panel focuses on Falco Lombardi, looking absolutely furious, unleashing his own barrage of shots with loud sounds, accompanied by his battle cry, "Fuzz!" He's not backing down. Below, Fox McCloud is clearly caught off guard. His face shows pure shock, and he exclaims, "Huh!" which translates to, "What? What?" His R-Wing is being hit by the green lasers with sharp and effects. The final panel features a sharp sound effect, suggesting a sudden impact or maneuver. It seems Star Wolf's ambush has put the Star Fox team in a tight spot. This page shows the immediate aftermath of Star Wolf's surprise attack. In the top panel, a gigantic, furious peppy hare is shouting, "Bakuman!" which is a strong exclamation like, "You idiots!" or "Fools!" His glasses are askew, emphasizing his anger as he berates the team, likely for being caught off guard by Wolf and his crew. Below, the focus shifts to the Star Fox team members looking quite sheepish and dejected. Fox McCloud has a band-aid on his cheek and is saying, "Gomenasai," meaning sorry. Next to him, Slippy Toad looks down, and his robotic leg appears damaged.
Falco Lombardi stands slightly apart, turning away with a seemingly annoyed or frustrated look.
A sharp slash sound effect is present near Falco. It's clear the ambush didn't go well for the heroes, resulting in damage and Peppy's predictable, albeit well-deserved, scolding. This page continues the tense aftermath of the Starwolf attack. A furious Peppy Hair is seen yelling at Rob64, demanding to know why the team was fighting amongst themselves. Fox attempts to explain that Falco went ahead, but Peppy cuts him off, refusing to hear excuses and angrily stating that even Fox's legendary father wouldn't have been so foolish. Slippy Toad tries to de-escalate the situation, pointing out that at least Fox and the R-Wing only sustained minor damage. However, his demeanor quickly changes as he expresses concern for Falco. He reveals that as Falco flew off, he noticed the plasma engine on Falco's ship was completely burnt out, meaning he likely can't fly for much longer. Peppy, exasperated, demands to know how things got this bad, leaving Fox unable to fully explain the chaotic turn of events. This page begins with Wolf O'Donnell next to a damaged R-Wing, clearly frustrated and perhaps impressed, commenting on how much Fox has improved, or conversely, how dull his own skills have become. The scene then transitions to the Titania base.
General Pepper is surprised to hear that Star Fox has failed.
He expresses concern that the existence of that thing, which has finally entered a stable phase, could leak out. To prevent this, General Pepper orders the capture of one of Star Fox's members, stating they will use Goras to accomplish this. The plan is echoed by a sinister-looking rabbit character with glasses, who agrees that having a hostage will be convenient for various reasons, giving a chilling chuckle. The military is clearly reacting to Star Fox's recent troubles, and is now targeting the team themselves.
This page continues the narrative, starting with Peppy Hair expressing surprise that Falco might have emerged from an Andorf army ship, calling it strange.
Fox McCloud then voices his suspicion about the current request, finding something odd about it, particularly the presence of a soldier named Shields. The mysterious rabbit character with glasses from the previous page agrees the request feels strange, noting that the base is unusually quiet for one supposedly occupied by Andorf remnants. Fox concludes that some investigation is necessary. Slippy Toad is shown in a cockpit, perhaps reacting to the decision. The final panels show Falco Lombardi vehemently complaining about having to go scout the Titania base, followed by visuals of a Landmaster tank, likely carrying Falco, departing. The team is clearly uneasy about their current mission and the appearance of this new character, Shields, adding to the tension following their recent difficulties mentioned on the previous page. This page continues the Star Fox crew's mission briefing and deployment. General Pepper explains that, since Fox's R-Wing is currently being repaired, Falco is needed for the mission. Falco vehemently complains about this, calling the situation idiotic and unfair, possibly referencing someone, perhaps Peppy, pretending to be too old to go. Slippy cuts the communication, telling whoever is going to perform the mission well. Slippy is then shown piloting the Landmaster tank, expressing a bad feeling about the planet they're heading to, Titania, noting he doesn't have many good memories there. General Pepper grumbles about the harsh treatment they are receiving. This page continues the Star Fox comic narrative. In the top panels, Slippy appears to be having a fearful reaction or flashback, recalling a past incident where he got caught by a strange monster on R-Wing or Corneria, stating the memory alone makes him feel cold. Meanwhile, the middle panels show Peppy expressing concern about sending Slippy alone, questioning if he will be okay. Fox assures him that Slippy is a full-fledged pilot and will manage.
Suddenly, Rob64 announces that an incoming communication is being received.
Peppy asks who it's from, and Rob64 reveals it's from Andros's army's ship. Fox reacts with shock and immediately orders the communication be put on the main monitor. The top panels also depict the Landmaster tank moving through a rocky landscape, presumably with Slippy at the controls heading towards their mission objective on Titania. This page continues the Star Fox comic, as the crew makes contact with the incoming transmission. Rob64 has connected the feed, showing Cat Monroe, Bill Gray, and what appears to be other members of the previous page's group on the monitor. Kate is immediately agitated, demanding to see Fox. Fox is shocked to see Kate, remembering her from the past, and questions why she is with Andross's forces. Bill attempts to calm Kat down, but she insists she's angry because that guy did something to Falco. Fox expresses confusion, asking if they aren't actually with Andross's army after all. Bill suggests they should discuss the situation properly, especially given that it involves Falco. The tension is high, as the Great Fox crew tries to understand Kat and Bill's true allegiance and connection to Andross and the missing Falco.
This page continues the tense transmission from the previous page, showing Cat Monroe, Bill Gray, and others on the monitor inside the Great Fox, with Fox, Crystal, Slippy, Peppy, and Rob64. Fox explains that they had received information about important research being conducted at the base where they found Cat and Bill. Bill immediately becomes suspicious, accusing the Star Fox crew of stealing the data because they thought it was valuable, and suggests that's why they were being pursued. Fox, however, is more concerned about why Colonel Seals, who seems to be leading Cat and Bill's group, told them they were part of Andross's army. He deduces that there must have been a reason for this deception. Fox then asks if Cat and Bill have examined the contents of the research data they obtained. Crystal replies that they haven't yet. Bill quickly demands that the data be sent to them. Rob64 confirms receiving the transmission of the data, and states that it will now verify its contents, accompanied by sounds of data processing. This page continues the data analysis from the previous transmission. Cat Monroe and Bill Gray are shocked to hear that the data is related to a bioweapon researched by Andross's army. However, Rob64 quickly completes the analysis, stating that while the data is not a bioweapon, it is the Drina information of some kind of creature. Slippy asks what creature it is, and Rob64 begins a simulation. The simulation visually depicts a Dynastrand transforming and growing into a horrifying, monstrous form. As the creature takes shape, Fox McCloud reacts with disbelief, exclaiming, This thing is..." The page culminates with the reveal that the grotesque creature is none other than Andross himself, leaving the Star Fox crew and their allies stunned and terrified. The page ends on a cliffhanger, indicating the story is to be continued. This page kicks off an exciting new interview series called Masters of Sega Part 1, highlighting the strong partnership between Sega and Nintendo. The magazine is interviewing 4 Sega development studios that are heavily focused on creating games for Nintendo hardware. This first installment features 2 absolute legends, Yuji Naka of Sonic Team and Noriyoshi Okariba from Overworks. The page showcases photos of both developers. For Yuji Naka, his upcoming games mentioned are the classic compilation Sonic Mega Collection and the beloved online RPG Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2, with page references to their features. Noriyoshi Okaiba's new work highlighted is Eternal Arcadia Legend, known to fans as Skies of Arcadia Legends, also with a page number. There's even a picture of the charming PR representative holding a large Sega sign. It's a great start to seeing behind the scenes, with the creators bringing Sega titles to Nintendo platforms. This interview with Yuji Naka, creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, discusses Sonic Team's successful transition to Nintendo platforms. Naka highlights the global success of Sonic Mega Collection and Sonic Advance, noting a younger audience on Nintendo compared to Dreamcast. He emphasizes the synergy between games like Sonic Adventure, 2 Battle, and Sonic Advance, and the importance of direct fan interaction, like the Waku Waku Game Party events, for understanding fan desires. Creating a new Sonic game typically takes about 2 years. Naka's profile details his long history at Sega, including work on numerous titles like Samba de Amigo and Phantasy Star Online, and his upcoming projects. This page continues the interview, focusing on the upcoming Phantasy Star Online release for GameCube. The interviewee discusses the process of porting the online RPG to a new platform and adding significant new features like a dedicated 4-player offline mode aimed at bringing new players into the world of online gaming. Player feedback from the Dreamcast version of SO played a big role in guiding development for the GameCube. Despite the game being content complete, the release was delayed significantly due to the need for rigorous testing and polishing, particularly focusing on ensuring network stability and preventing online issues before the game launches. The trial version of the GameCube game saw participation from nearly 10,000 players, providing valuable data. This page continues the interview with Yuji Naka,
picking up with fascinating stories about the impact of Phantasy Star Online's online community, including tales of players meeting through the game and getting married. He also discusses the innovative GameCube and Game Boy Advance link-up features, highlighting how data-like minigames based on titles like Knights, Choo Choo Rocket, and even Mario could be downloaded to the GBA, creating unique experiences. The conversation then moves to the success and recognition Spaso received, specifically mentioning winning the prestigious Japan Game Award and a BAFTA Award for Interactive Achievement. A significant honor, though Naka expresses regret at not being able to attend the BAFTA ceremony in the UK. He views these awards, like the BAFTA won by Sipso, on par with an Academy Award for film. Finally, Naka touches on other projects the Sonic team is working on for GameCube, hinting at new Sonic titles like Sonic Advance 2 and Sonic Mega Collection. He also teases the possibility of a new Samba de Amigo, noting that while demand is high, the cost of the Maracas controller poses a challenge for a home console release. The page features a photo of the Japan Game Awards ceremony in March 2001, showing Naka-san accepting an award on stage. Yuji Naka, Sonic team head, discusses the team's close-knit spirit and the joy of Sonic's return to Nintendo systems. He reflects on the surprising Satoru Iwata presidency announcement, recalling a casual conversation with Iwata before the news. Naka hopes to continue game development for another decade, advising aspiring programmers to prioritize creation over management. He enjoys Super Mario Sunshine and expresses interest in challenging simulations or racing games for a desert island. Naka's ideal woman is a moe girl, and if reborn he'd speak English fluently or be an F1 driver. Naka emphasizes that passion is crucial for success in the game industry, advising exploration and learning. The interview also highlights a possible Sonic movie. This page features an interview with Noriyoshi Ohiba, the head of Overworks, known for titles like the Sakura Wars series. Oba is the second Sega Great Master highlighted in this feature. The interview focuses on the anticipated RPG, Eternal Arcadia Legend, known internationally as Skies of Arcadia Legends, which was announced for the GameCube. This is Okiba's first interview with the magazine. Oba describes Skies of Arcadia Legends as an epic adventure, RPG, suitable for both adults and children, likening its spirit to classic adventure stories like Treasure Island or 15 Boys. He explains that while the original Dreamcast version was great, the GameCube port adds significant new content, including fresh episodes, events, and characters, which players of the original can look forward to. He expresses a strong desire to expand Skies of Arcadia into a series, and confirms plans for a worldwide release. Oba highlights the game's unique worldview, set in an age of exploration in the sky, filled with mystery and adventure, where players seek treasures and discover the world. The page also features a large illustration from the game, depicting the main characters standing on their airship, and a portrait of Noriyoshi Ohiba himself. This page continues the interview with Noriyoshi Oniba, the head of Overworks, discussing his work and thoughts. He addresses the future of popular series like Sakura Wars, stating plans for a worldwide expansion across all age groups, suggesting possibilities even on the GameCube depending on demand. He also talks about Guru Guru Onsen, a digital board game platform currently on PS2 and Windows, built on the OpenDice concept, where hardware is not a limiting factor, implying it could appear on various systems. Oguba reflects on his happiest moments, mentioning the excitement of seeing a game come to life from initial design to the final player reaction. When asked about the game he's most interested in, he enthusiastically points to Zelda GC, referring to the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker, noting the buzz around it. Looking ahead, he hopes to continue making games, perhaps as president of the company, creating projects without restriction. He offers advice to aspiring game creators, emphasizing the rewarding feeling of bringing something to life and encouraging them to join the industry. The page also features striking character art of Beleza, a key antagonist from Skies of Arcadia Legends, a game central to the previous page's discussion. This page features a spotlight on Skies of Arcadia Legends for the Nintendo GameCube, highlighted as a Sega Hot Topic pickup. A large illustration shows the protagonist Vice, the leader of the Blue Rogues Air Pirates, standing proudly. The game is presented as a complete version, with various additions, breaking a year of silence since its announcement for the GameCube. Set in a world of floating lands and mysterious ruins, players control Vice as they navigate the skies in giant airships, exploring uncharted territories and uncovering lost treasures. The game features both thrilling airship battles and classic turn-based party combat against rival air pirates and monsters. Screenshots showcase the impressive airship models and dynamic battle sequences. The page includes a famous quote from Vice, expressing his determination to see the edge of the world, the other side of the clouds. Game details list it as an RPG for one player, with release date and price listed as undecided at the time. Another screenshot shows Vice and Fina in a scene, illustrating the character interactions. This page continues the spotlight on the Sega RPG, Skies of Arcadia, known as Eternal Arcadia Legend here. It highlights the exciting gameplay, starting with the grand title Great Voyage to the Beyond, and character images featuring Vice, Aika, and the newly introduced Fina. The page emphasizes the unique combat system, detailing the dynamic, powerful cannon battle where airships clash. It explains that while the system is command-based, similar to character battles, it focuses on skillfully using ship weapons like cannons and torpedoes, promising large-scale conflicts. A key feature shown is the powerful ultimate weapon, the Moonstone Cannon, depicted with its massive firing effect. Collecting items and creating air bases are also mentioned for powering up.
A large section is dedicated to the mysterious girl, Fina, showcasing her full character art. Her quote, "I'm sorry, I can't tell anyone that," hints at her secrets. The text reveals she is pursued by the Imperial Army because she knows the secret of an ancient treasure called the Moon Crystal. Her origin is unknown, but she is saved by Vice and joins him on his adventure. Finally, the page touches upon fleet battles, illustrating through screenshots how character battles can unfold on the ship's deck during the larger ship combat sequences, featuring the battle Yui for Aika and Fina. This page gives a great overview of the game's blend of airship exploration, large-scale naval battles, and classic RPG party combat. This page continues the look at Sega's RPG, Skies of Arcadia, or Eternal Arcadia Legend as it's called here. The focus shifts to exploration, titled, Exploring Numerous Sky Cities, Ruins, Secret Places. On the left is large character art of Akaika, described as Vice's energetic childhood friend who loves treasure and good food, hating injustice, and fighting with a boomerang. Her spirited quote asks whether you'd choose friends or treasure, answering, "Of course, you choose both." The page details how exploration works in the vast sky world, moving between floating continents by ship. It emphasizes the unique vertical movement aspect, using a compass and altimeter to navigate the 3D world. Screenshots showcase various intriguing locations like the Sky Bandit Island, a high-altitude village connected by a single ladder, a mysterious town seemingly wrapped in fog and built upside down, a city powered by a massive waterfall, and an ancient temple or shrine with beautiful, long stone steps. The captions highlight specific elements, like seeing the sea of clouds from high places, or the bizarre architecture. It gives a taste of the diverse and vertical environments players will explore. This page continues the look at Skies of Arcadia Legend, focusing on the core quest and some of the dangers Vice and his crew will face. The main story revolves around finding the forbidden treasure, the Moon Crystals, which are tied to the ancient weapon gigas that supposedly destroyed the world. Featured prominently is Piastel, an original character introduced in this GameCube version, nicknamed Death God Piastel. Described as a silent and cold bounty hunter who specifically targets Vice, she appears multiple times throughout the adventure, wielding a massive scythe. Her ship is called the Avenger, hinting at her motive potentially being more than just chasing a bounty. Screenshots show the mysterious ancient weapon Glidegard, one of the Gigas, in action, displaying its destructive power. There are also shots of exploring strange ruins to find the Moon Crystals, a dramatic sky battle with a ship being pierced by a light beam, and a giant legendary creature known as the Rockbird attacking on the ground. The text highlights that the GameCube version adds significant story content and new characters, with Piastel being a major new antagonist whose persistent pursuit of Viance is shrouded in mystery. The GameCube's Sonic Mega Collection compiles classic Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis/Mega Drive games, making them a must-have for fans and newcomers alike. The collection features Sonic the Hedgehog, showcasing its groundbreaking speed and gameplay. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 introduces Tails and expands gameplay with new mechanics. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 provides faster scrolling and improved graphics, allowing players to choose between Sonic and Tails from the start. The collection is a trip down memory lane for longtime fans, and an exciting introduction to the series for newcomers. The next page confirms the incredible lineup for the Sonic Mega Collection on GameCube, boldly stating, "The origin is revived here." This is a must-have for any Sonic fan, packing in the classic Genesis/Mega Drive titles that started it all. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and the fantastic Sonic and Knuckles, and are also throwing in Sonic Spinball, the Wild Pinball Adventure, the addictive puzzle game Drive, Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which you might know as Puyo Puyo, and the isometric platformer Sonic 3D Blast, originally Sonic 3D Flicky's Island. The page highlights the unique gameplay of Sonic and Knuckles, where you can finally play as Sonic's rival, breaking obstacles with his punch and climbing walls. Something Sonic couldn't do. It even mentions the cool lock-on technology. For Sonic 3D Blasts, it describes the distinct slanted overhead 3D view and the goal of rescuing the Flickies. Plus, there's exciting news that Sonic Adventure, the beloved Dreamcast title, is also planned for a GameCube port. Playing this will definitely deepen your appreciation for the Sonic universe. This collection is shaping up to be the definitive way to experience Sonic's 16-bit legacy and beyond on the GameCube. This page highlights a Sega hot topic, focusing on the incredible Phantasy Star Online episode In and 2 for the Nintendo GameCube. It showcases the overwhelming presence of the new VR spaceship boss, the Gold Dragon. This formidable foe, born from a dragon deep beneath the planet Regal, possesses devastating abilities like fire, ice, and snow attacks. Prepare for intense battles against this powerful enemy. The page also confirms that battle stages from the Dreamcast's Veripoint 2 are now explorable, expanding the adventure. Furthermore, the visual lobbies, the social hubs where players gather, offer a rich variety of environments. Screenshots show off distinct lobbies, including one with a massive rainbow stretching across the sky, another featuring a mysterious galaxy-like object, a relaxing area with a fountain, and a charming small flower garden buzzing with butterflies. The game details confirm it's a network RPG for 14 players, requiring a significant amount of memory card space. It also notes support for both modem and broadband adapters for online play, which uses a subscription model, and compatibility with a keyboard controller. This release looks like it's bringing the full PAPSO experience to the GameCube with exciting new content. This page continues the deep dive into Phantasy Star Online episode I and 2 for the Nintendo GameCube, this time introducing a brand new boss enemy. The fearsome VR temple boss, Valbalar, makes its debut. This creature is described as the worst evolution of the classic cave boss, Du Role. It's an A.Beast attribute enemy that presents a unique challenge by repeatedly submerging and surfacing during the fight, sometimes accompanied by smaller Big Ray enemies. We also get a closer look at the diverse visual lobbies, showcasing the vibrant social spaces where players connect. Screenshots highlight various themes, including a charming snowy area perfect for the holidays, a breezy spot featuring a large spinning windmill, a lush green forest lobby, and a comfortable area where players can actually sit on sofas and interact, with hints of a stage in the background. It's great to see familiar faces like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman appearing as character avatars enjoying these environments. Additionally, there's exciting news about a 30 days free online campaign being decided, offering players a month of online play free of charge from their initial connection, which is a fantastic way to jump into the game. This page dives into Tales of the World, Narikiri Dungeon 2 for the Game Boy Advance. Building on the Tales series universe, this dungeon RPG brings back the popular Narikiri or costume system, now expanded with over 150 different costumes, allowing players to take on various professions. The story follows the protagonists, Frio and Karo, 15-year-olds raised in an orphanage. They gain the power of a Narikiri master to help save the world tree from crisis, and are aided by heroes summoned from different worlds. Gameplay features include a menu screen showing stats, battle options, skills, quests, and customization. Battles are depicted using the familiar linear motion battle system from the main Tales games, adapted for the GBA, with impressive graphics. The core mechanic is changing costumes to change jobs, gaining new abilities and stats. The page shows examples of jobs like swordsman, wizard, and even quirky ones like Wonder Chef. Specific job skills like the inspector's Inspect Eye to check enemy status, or the chef's ability to use the frying pan to change job and potentially heal are highlighted, showing the depth and variety the system offers. It emphasizes that the costume system is crucial not just for combat, but also for progressing through the game.
This page continues showcasing Tales of the World. Narrated Dungeon 2, focusing on the exciting appearance of beloved characters from past Tales games. As the protagonist ventures through this world, they'll encounter and even fight alongside classic heroes like Cress Albane and Mint Adnade from Tales of Fantasia, and Arcade Klein, also from Fantasia. These encounters aren't just cameos, they integrate into the adventure. The game features a dynamic, new scenario system where your choices matter. Accepting or declining quests directly influences how the story unfolds, offering a flexible narrative path. This adds significant replayability as different decisions lead to varied outcomes and plot developments. Furthermore, the protagonists, Frio and Caro, are fully voiced by professional actors, adding a layer of immersion to the game, especially during crucial moments like battles. The voice actors for Frio and Caro are highlighted, promising a more engaging experience as their personalities come to life through dialogue. This emphasis on voice acting is a great touch for a handheld title. This page introduces Trap Novel Series Volume 2, Minami no Umi no Odyssey, a text-adventure game for the Game Boy Advance. Following the escape from the Haunted Mansion in the first game, this sequel throws players onto a deserted island in the southern seas. The goal is to explore the jungle, find food, gather materials to build a raft, and escape the island while dealing with time limits, physical strength, and avoiding dangerous traps set by the antagonist, the Plague God. You play as Kana, a lively 6th grader, accompanied by her brother Kuta, who is her opposite in personality but quick-witted. The game emphasizes survival elements, resource management, and overcoming obstacles. The story unfolds through text choices, but exploration and even battles against wild animals and the Plague God's creations add variety. Screenshots show text prompts, jungle exploration views, a status screen tracking parameters like strength and hunger, and a combat scene. Missing a choice or failing in combat can lead to consequences for your character's condition. The developers promise a thrilling experience with branching paths based on player decisions. The game was released in January 2002. This page dives into the GBA title Metal Gunslinger, showcasing a sample room first play. The article highlights the game's action-packed gameplay, emphasizing stylish gunplay reminiscent of action movies. It features a unique gun art system that goes beyond simple shooting, incorporating evasive maneuvers inspired by animals like the wildcat. The game offers high-speed scrolling stages, some of which involve riding vehicles. Key details listed include: title, Metal Gunslinger, publisher, Atmark, release date, September 27th, price, 5,200 yen, genre, action, players, 1. Screenshots demonstrate the side-scrolling shooting action, the gun art selection menu, and vertical platforming segments, where you can shoot while climbing. The game also introduces a stage bounty system, where you hunt specific targets hidden within levels. Defeating them yields special items called soul diamonds, collecting 4 of which increases your maximum HP. The page also introduces key characters, including the protagonist Billy McDoliane, and a cool, taciturn rival gunman named Hawk. The article notes, the game features a fast-paced, catchy song, with Billy delivering the final punch. This page features the GBA release of Mega Man and Bass, known as Rockman and Forte in Japan. Scheduled for release on August 10th for 4,800 yen, this action title allows players to control not only Mega Man, but also his rival, Bass. The article highlights that players must utilize the distinct abilities of both characters to conquer varied stages filled with traps and enemies. Defeating bosses grants you special weapons, which are crucial for progression. Collecting screws allows you to purchase power-up parts, while hidden crudes containing robot data can be found throughout the game. Amassing all 100 CDs is presented as a significant objective. Key characters featured include Mega Man with his faithful dog Rush, and Bass with his wolf-like companion Treble, who allows Bass to fly. The page also tragically introduces Proto Man, the lonely warrior, suggesting his demise after confronting King. The strategic use of special weapons acquired from defeated bosses is emphasized as a core gameplay element, impacting the difficulty and approach to stages. The page showcases several of these unique weapons, such as the Ice Wall, Remote Mine, Spread Drill, and Magic Card. Please provide the text you would like me to summarize. This page features Sega's Greatest 9 for the Game Boy Advance, promoting it as a thoroughly real pro baseball game. Coming soon to GBA, it promises a realistic experience that goes beyond the norm, featuring data from all 12 teams from the 2002 season. The focus is on its detailed hitting system, where players predict pitches, move a cursor to lock on, build power with a gauge, and time their swing for maximum effect. The game also boasts ultra-realistic player animations, capturing the unique batting forms of individual players. It seems to offer a deep, strategic baseball simulation experience on a portable device. This page continues the deep dive into Sega's Greatest 9, following up on the hitting system from the previous page by detailing the pitching mechanics and game modes. It highlights how players can master various pitch types, choosing from 8 different breaking balls plus a fastball, and strategically aiming them to keep batters off balance. The game boasts incredibly realistic pitcher forms, capturing the unique styles of players like the Hanshin Tigers' Train Muller, known for his dynamic delivery, and the Chunichi Dragons' Kenta Asakura, capable of hitting 150 km per hour with his powerful right arm. Beyond the core gameplay, 4 distinct modes are available: a full 140-game pennant race mode mirroring the real-life season schedule, an open battle mode for free matchups with stadium choices, an all-star game mode allowing dream showdowns between league stars, and an 8-team knockout tournament mode for quick, intense competition. It clearly offers a comprehensive pro baseball simulation experience. This page dives into the GBA release of the popular baseball team management simulation, Pro Yaku Team wo Tsukuru, Advance. Let's make a pro baseball team, Advance. As the owner, your goal is to build your own original team from the ground up and reach the top of Japanese professional baseball within 10 years. You start with an initial roster of 20 original players and expand your team by acquiring players through a protect waiver system using funds, or by creating your own Tsukuru players, who can become key members of your squad. Player development is crucial. You'll manage training, including annual camps in February, where location and cost influence effectiveness. Individual instruction from coaches provides focused training, like improving speed or specific skills. They'll be mindful of potential injuries from hard training. The game simulates matches in a quick digest format, letting you watch or skip to the results as you climb the league standings. The page also highlights communication features, allowing you to trade players, including your created ones, with friends via link cable, adding another layer of strategic depth to building your ultimate team. The next page dives deeper into managing your team in Pro Yaku Team wo Tsukuru, Advance, detailing how to acquire and develop players using personnel commands. You can bolster your squad through the draft, scouting domestic talent, with options for free acquisition slots or competitive bidding. Foreign players are also valuable assets, allowing you to acquire up to 4. Be sure to check scout reports even if the initial assessment is low. Trading is another key method, allowing you to exchange players in cash, with foreigner trades and acquisitions happening annually in June, potentially netting you big players depending on negotiations. You can also target free agents, FA, after the season ends. These are often peak players, but acquiring them requires a substantial transfer fee, typically 4 times their salary. The page also introduces 2 major new systems: cards and investment. Cards, distributed yearly after the season, offer various effects on staff and players with different rarities, adding strategic depth. Investment allows you to invest in companies for financial returns and potential events, providing another layer of team management. This page is all about Zoids versus on the GameCube. Coming out in August for 6,800 yen, this 3D action title supports 12 players and requires 10 memory blocks. It throws you into intense battles controlling Zoids straight from the anime and toys, letting you freely pilot them and feel the excitement. The game boasts over 80 types of Zoids and features engaging 2v2 team battles. You can customize your Zoid with various weapons and unleash devastating attacks, including powerful melee strikes with fangs and claws, as well as signature super special moves unique to each Zoid. Options like E-shields also function true to the original series. Highlighted mechanics include the lock-on system, where your radar influences targeting range, and the use of option weaponry for tactical moves like deploying smoke or shields. Combat involves cycling weapons with Kwai, shooting with a Kwa, and performing melee attacks with X, which can be chained into combos. When things get tough and your health is low, you can trigger your Zoid's super special move with X plus A, often specific to the model, and looking just like the anime. Even smaller Zoids get their own powerful finishers.
Zoids vs. offers diverse gameplay. Zoid Battle Mode recreates anime tournaments with familiar pilots, allowing players to earn money for upgrades. Mission Mode presents story-driven missions for the Empire or Republic factions, unlocking more Zoids and impacting the narrative. Verse Mode lets players test customized Zoids against friends or AI. Customization is extensive, allowing players to equip weapons, option armaments, and subparts, and change colors to tailor Zoids for specific roles. This page features All-Star Baseball 2003 for the GameCube, promising a hyper-realistic Major League Baseball experience. The game boasts all 30 MLB teams and over 900 players appearing with their real names. Player faces and movements are realistically recreated, and the stadiums are faithfully rendered. Gameplay features English commentary to immerse you in the American baseball atmosphere. Beyond the realism, the game offers extensive customization options for batting, pitching, and fielding controls, catering to both beginners and veterans. Screenshots show the detailed options menu and a team creation mode where you can design your own original club and logo. There's also a TV-style replay system allowing you to rewatch impressive plays. A major highlight for Japanese players is the inclusion of prominent Japanese stars currently active in the MLB. The page specifically features Ichiro Suzuki, highlighting his unique batting stance. Shigehisa Hasegawa, noted for his realistic appearance. Tsuyoshi Shinjo, with his distinct gear and form accurately represented, and Kazuhiro Sasaki, whose signature forkball is included. These players are brought to life with 3D cyberscans and advanced graphics. This looks like a solid baseball sim for fans of the sport. This page dives into Mickey and Minnie's magical quest for the Game Boy Advance, marking the dynamic duo's debut on the platform. It's an action game, where Mickey and Minnie venture into a mysterious world to rescue the kidnapped Pluto. The core gameplay revolves around changing into different costumes, each granting unique abilities necessary to navigate challenges and defeat enemies. The page highlights 3 distinct costumes: the Wizard, allowing magic attacks and long periods underwater; the Fireman, capable of putting out fires and moving heavy objects; and the Climber, who can scale walls and obstacles using a rope. Screenshots showcase these abilities in action, along with typical platforming gameplay and boss encounters. Beyond the main adventure, there's a 2-player party mode featuring 4 original versus games, all playable with just 1 cartridge and a link cable. It looks like a solid action-adventure with fun co-op possibilities. This page shifts gears from action to adorable simulation, with Nakayoshi Pet Advance Series 3, Kawaii Koneko for the Game Boy Advance. This entry lets you experience living with and raising a cute kitten. The game is a pet raising simulation where you spend a week with your new feline friend, and your interactions and care influence its various stats like friendship and mood, ultimately affecting the ending you get. Gameplay involves daily activities like playing with the kitten using different toys, feeding it various types of food, and making sure it has water. You also need to take responsibility for grooming and keeping its environment clean, including the all-important task of cleaning the litter box regularly. Ignoring care leads to the kitten becoming unhappy and unwell. As you spend time with the kitten, you'll learn its reactions and discover places it likes to be petted. The game emphasizes observing the kitten's behavior to understand its needs. It looks like a charming and responsible virtual pet experience. Tokimeki Dream Series 1, Let's Become a Flower Shop Owner, is a charming Game Boy Advance simulation. Players take on the role of a florist, fulfilling customer orders by crafting flower arrangements. This involves gathering flowers from the seasonal forest of 4 seasons, often requiring minigames like donut feeding and rock, paper, scissors. Arrangements are designed with a main flower, sub-flowers, ornaments, and wrapping, judged on factors like pinpoint for a perfect score. Different scenarios, such as Valentine's Day, add variety to the requests and advance the story, highlighting the importance of customer understanding and creative floral design. This page dives into the strategic depths of Super Robot Wars on the Game Boy Advance, the second entry in the series for the handheld. It highlights the core systems you'll need to master to succeed, especially in the mid-game scenarios. Key mechanics like the trust system are explained, where adjacent units with high trust between pilots gain damage bonuses. The command system is crucial too. Pilots with the command ability boost the hit and evasion rates of allies within their range, making tactical positioning vital. Support attack and support defense are also covered,
showing how adjacent units can assist in both offense and defense. Finally, the powerful combination attacks, requiring specific unit pairings, are detailed as devastating options against tough foes. The page includes screenshots showcasing the game's combat and system interfaces, along with a list of combination attacks available early in the game, emphasizing the importance of understanding these linked abilities. Mastering these interconnected systems is the key to dominating the battlefield in SRWR. This page serves as an essential guide for the early game of Super Robot Wars AA, focusing on the pilots who join your team by the end of Episode 12. Out of the 52 pilots highlighted, most will become core members of the London Bell Force, though the guide notes some will leave and later rejoin with reset levels, so be mindful of who you invest experience in. The page also emphasizes the strategic importance of spirit commands, specifically highlighting Kenshin, Devotion, which restores allied SP, Chokugeki, Direct Hit, which nullifies enemy defenses, Datsuryoku, Depower, which reduces enemy morale, and Gekirei, Encourage, which boosts allied morale. Pilots with these abilities are considered particularly valuable and worth developing. The bulk of the page is dedicated to introducing the large roster of early pilots, featuring characters from iconic series like Mobile Suit Gundam, UCG, Wing, X, Mazinger Z, Great Mazinger, Grendizer, Getter Robo, Zambot 3, Daytarn 3, Raideen, and Nadesico. Each pilot gets a portrait, their series origin, and a brief description of their abilities or role. It's a comprehensive look at the diverse cast you'll be commanding in the first third of the game. This page provides a detailed strategy guide for the first 12 episodes of Super Robot Wars HAR, covering 2 distinct early game routes. It includes a flowchart showing the progression of episodes and the units that join or leave on each path, the Nadesico route, and the inverse char route. The initial choice you make significantly impacts your early team composition. The Nadesico route focuses more on Nadesico units and their pilots, emphasizing teamwork and defensive capabilities, while the inverse char route brings in more Universal Century Gundam mass production units, leading to a more offensive, hit-and-run playstyle. By Episode 7, units from both routes will converge, but the early composition affects your tactical options. A key mechanic highlighted is the unit upgrade inheritance system. Upgrades made to certain early units, like the Estivalis frame types, will carry over to improved or related units, such as the Nadesico S or later Estivalis variants. This means investment in these early units isn't wasted, as their strength contributes to future upgrades. The guide confirms upgrades are inherited for specific unit lines, like the Estivalis and some Gundam variants. The page also lists various enhancement parts and their effects, such as boosting movement, accuracy, critical hit rate, or restoring HP/N. Crucially, it offers a strategic tip.
If enemies possess recovery items like repair kits or propellant tanks, they will use them when damaged, preventing you from obtaining the item after battle. The advice is to prioritize defeating enemies, holding these valuable resources quickly.
This page continues the Super Robot Wars R strategy guide, detailing episodes 1 through 6, focusing on the initial common route and the branching Nadesico route. For common route Episode 1, Trial Weapon, the guide advises using the base's HP and recovery effect to weather being surrounded by enemies, highlighting the ferry unit's utility. And Nadesico route walkthrough covers Episodes 2 through 6. Episode 2, Successors of Mars, stresses focusing damage on Nadesico B units and using propellant tanks, noting key battle conversations and Hokushin's retreat condition. Episode 3, Reunion Recipe, points out enemy reinforcement patterns and retreat conditions for Hokushin and Bandok, advising defeating Hokushin quickly and using high mobility Black Selena or Nadesico B. Worst Decisive Battle, Episode 4, suggests using Nadesico C's Gravity Blast and equipping propellant tanks to deal with enemies attacking from all sides. Episode 5, Like a Choice of Fate, recommends heading for the tulip icon and using the high terrain recovery of the base to lure and defeat enemies without rushing due to no turn limit. Finally, Episode 6, Gear Fighter Dendo,
notes character appearances based on the protagonist's gender and offers tips for handling tough enemies like multiple Tetsujins, suggesting using Nadesico as bait on Lunar City terrain and leveraging Izumi's direct attack. A small additional tip mentions that increasing your total kill count provides bonus money.
This Super Robot Wars strategy guide details the Char's counterattack route, focusing on episodes 2 to 6. Episode 2 emphasizes using Ragazzi with focus to quickly defeat enemies. Episode 3 involves enemy reinforcements and complex retreat conditions. Defeating Gyunai and quests is crucial. Episode 4 highlights luring enemies and waiting for the main force. Episode 5 advises positioning units for HP/EN recovery and luring enemies. Episode 6 focuses on using Neo-Getter Robo's abilities and retreating to reinforcements. The guide strongly recommends upgrading the Excellence unit's weapons and N, as well as other core units N by 45 steps. This page continues the Super Robot Wars Strategy Guide, focusing on the common route. Episode 7, The Dangerous Mazinger Army. Sees you defending Great Mazinger against an onslaught from above. Use fast units like Regs and Valkyrie to hold them off. Episode 8, Banduk appears. Introduces Banduk, who retreats quickly, so focus fire for the rewards. The new unit Jingaru can be sent in.
Episode 9, Explosion. Viper Whip.
Koof features the debut of the powerful Excellences G, perfect for the lower enemies while your main force stages centrally for reinforcements. Episode 10, Appearance. Texas Mac. Highlights the aggressive Fenrir. Blast him fast before he retreats, but ignore the game over trigger Losakuru coming from the left. Episode 11, My Beloved Horse is Violent. Brings in Devil Gundam and Master Asia.
Use Daytarn 3's special attack and Excellence's support against this tough, regenerating boss, and enjoy the Flash Spirit event. Finally, Episode 12, Farewell Youth. Youth who became a battlefield. Farewell sees Gelnicus self-destruct on turn 3, giving Iron King and Jun a spirit boost. Just focus on the main enemy force joining up with the Great Mazinger team.
This page dives into the SNK side of the Capcom vs. SNK 2EO strategy guide for the Nintendo GameCube. It highlights the game's unique GCISM control scheme, which makes executing special moves incredibly easy by simply tilting the cap stick, perfect for players who struggle with complex fighting game commands. The reviewer states that because of this accessible control scheme, anyone can enjoy intense battles on an equal footing. The guide covers how boss characters appear in one-player mode based on challenge actions, detailing which bosses like Vega and Geese or Geese and Rugal appear after certain numbers of attempts. It also explains how to select win screen messages by pressing different button combinations after winning a match. Finally, the page spotlights two awakened characters, Violent Ken, translated as Runaway Ryu, but as Violent Ken in CVS2, and Orochi Iori. This appears to be a typo in the magazine. It should be E, meaning Crazy Orochi Iori, not Terry. It briefly mentions Violent Ken's moves are similar to base Ryu but closer to Akuma, Goki, emphasizing using the Shoryuken. For Orochi Iori, it describes his aggressive playstyle, and mentions using his signature attacks like the 8-Maiden technique. Screenshots show gameplay featuring Terry Bogard vs. Sagat, and Iori Yagami vs. Ryu, along with character portraits. This page continues the Capcom vs. SNK 2EO strategy guide, focusing on individual SNK characters and how to utilize them, particularly with the accessible GCISM controls. The guide covers several fan favorites. Terry Bogard is highlighted for his speed and versatile specials like Burn Knuckle and Power Wave, with a note on timing the Buster Wolf Super. Kyo Kusanagi's section discusses generating rhythm from crouching attacks, but mentions GCISM can make some combos trickier, referencing moves like Aragagami. Mai Shiranui is presented as easy to use with her flowing attacks like Hao no Mai, emphasizing avoiding counters with Suichu no Mai, and recommending her signature Super Ninpo Chao Hisatsu Shinobi Bachi. Rock Howard's strategy involves jumping attacks like Hard Edge and leveraging unblockable throws, plus using crack counter against incoming attacks. King's zoning game with projectiles and mix-ups is discussed, along with the difficulty but effectiveness of the Illusion Dance Super. Finally, Benimaru Nikaido is noted for his long reach and jumping attacks, recommending moves like Raijin Ken for pressure and the Raikou Ken Super for breaking guards. Screenshots accompany each character showcasing their moves in action. The guide also briefly mentions the strategic importance of deciding character order before a match. This Capcom vs. SNK 2EO strategy guide continues with SNK characters. Athena's Psycho Sword and Reflector are key defensive tools. Kim Kafwan excels with pressure via kicks. Joe Higashi's Hurricane Upper and Slash Kick are powerful. Cheng and Choi Bounges synergize with Choi's attacks and changes immunity. Nikoru utilizes Mamaha and Kamui Mutsube. Vice's Deicide Slayer is potent in GCISM. Raiden uses throws and giant bombs. Ryo Sakazaki's violent fist combos are strong, especially against jumpers, culminating in the powerful Tenchi Hao Ken Super. This page continues the strategy guide for Capcom vs SNK2 focusing on more characters. We see breakdowns for Hongfu, Yamazaki, Haomaru, Sagat, Yuri Sakazaki, Iori Yagami, Geese Howard, and Rugal Bernstein. For Hongfu, the guide suggests a cautious approach, using long-range staff specials, and notes his ability to pass through projectiles. Yamazaki is described as a difficult character, highlighting his upper/lower mix-ups, and the effective but risky Snake Charmer move in GCISM. Haomaru boasts strong, long-reaching sword attacks, with high damage potential, though with notable openings. Sagat's charm lies in his multi-hit attacks, which should be used for pressure, and his Tiger Crush Super is recommended as a counter. Yuri Sakazaki is noted for having few openings and strong attacks, particularly mentioning her LV.3 Flying Swallow Legs Super. Iori Yagami's strategy involves pressuring with Dark Thrust followed by Moon Cleaver, and using Wild Bites at close range to break stance, before finishing with a super. Geese Howard's Raging Storm is useful for pressure, and mastering his counterattack/throw against jumpers is key. Finally, Rugal Bernstein, despite potentially being difficult for beginners, is highlighted for his high attack power and the ability to quickly spam supers, with his fast gigantic pressure being a standout move. This page features a strategy guide for Klonoa G2 Dream Champ Tournament on the Game Boy Advance. It focuses on clearing the first 2 stages and collecting all the dream fragments, introducing the basic techniques needed to handle the game's puzzles and mechanics. While the core controls remain familiar, the game introduces new types of puzzles. The guide highlights essential moves with screenshots. It shows how holding the A button allows Klonoa to flutter or float for a short time to reach distant platforms. Another tip explains how holding a box prevents strong upward wind currents from lifting Klonoa. The guide also details how to quickly activate 3 switches simultaneously to open doors, often using enemies or strategic movement. Finally, it demonstrates how to use the specific enemy Mew to destroy boxes that Klonoa normally cannot break, a crucial skill for progression. These early stages are designed to teach players these fundamental skills before tackling tougher challenges. This page continues the strategy guide for Klonoa G2 Dream Champ Tournament, focusing on techniques for obtaining dream fragments in the game's action stages. It highlights the differences between floatboard and forced scroll stages. For floatboard sections, a key tip is to always stay in the center to react quickly to incoming obstacles or collect items. Forced scroll stages, labeled athletic, demand precision. Using the wind bullet on enemies right as they revive is a strategic way to clear paths. The guide also shows how to handle obstacles like jumping over low ones or using a captured enemy to flutter over wide gaps. Finally, it advises swiftly breaking boxes and waiting for the right moment to grab specific enemies, like Gummis, due to the scrolling screen. Below the guide, the page announces a new game, Klonoa Action RPG for the Game Boy Advance, planned for release in November. While details and screenshots are scarce, a silhouette image is provided. It teases the appearance of Klonoa himself, another character recognizable from Klonoa 2, and a mysterious new character seemingly holding a bomb, suggesting a different gameplay style involving weapons and potentially cooperative elements. Many questions about this new direction for the series remain unanswered. This page is an attack guide for Shaman King, Chao Senjiryoketsu 2 on the Game Boy Advance, diving into the early stages of the scenario mode. It breaks down how to battle through the initial rival encounters, focusing on the game's core card game mechanics. The guide explains various ways to build up your card collection, whether by earning points from battles on the world map and at Suru's shop, or by spending in-game allowance money on single cards or booster packs. A cool bonus is sometimes getting a free card just for achieving a super easy win. The page then details the starting deck you receive, known as the First Buddhist Cut deck, and offers strategies for using it effectively. The main tactic is to rely on characters like Yo Asakura and Amidamaru, focusing on their powerful Buddhist cut attack. It also gives tips on using support characters and spells like Okyu to counter tricky opponents or special spirits. Finally, it suggests ways to upgrade and evolve this starter deck, recommending adding more key attack cards, defensive spells like Pinpoint, and even incorporating Anna Kiyoyama with her own attack and defense capabilities, alongside versatile spells like Yokai Raid to boost your overall offense. Screenshots show the game's strategic grid battles and card art featuring characters like Yo, Anna, and Amidamaru.
Please provide the text you would like me to summarize. This page dives into the challenging world of Superghoul's own Ghosts on the Game Boy Advance, offering a pinpoint strategy guide specifically for the tough bosses encountered in the first 4 stages. It emphasizes the fundamental importance of mastering Arthur's attacks, highlighting the power of attacking during a double jump, and how strategic weapon selection is key, recommending the spear and bowgun for different situations. The guide breaks down each early boss fight. For Stage 1's Cockatrice, the advice is to keep a constant distance and use jump attacks while dodging its neck extension and eggs. Stage 2 features the Storm Caesaris. You should attack its head rapidly, matching its movements, and the torch magic is suggested for defense in close combat. The Stage 3 boss, the Death Roller, requires you to focus on dodging its rock attacks, utilizing specific safe zones shown in the screenshots, and suggests using the double jump to evade. Finally, for the Stage 4 encounter with the multi-headed Huey Bydra, the strategy is to attack from a distance, scrolling the screen to keep the heads visible, and the bowgun is recommended for an effective and relatively quick defeat. It notes Huey Bhydra's ability to split. This page is packed with essential tips to help players overcome these early game hurdles.
This page provides a beginner-friendly guide for beach spikers, focusing on getting new players up to speed quickly, especially for versus mode. It emphasizes that the game is easy to pick up with just the control stick and 2 buttons, stressing the importance of minimizing errors and using basic techniques. The guide recommends picking a high-level country to start, noting that the game features 16 nations ranked from SS to B. For beginners, Brazil, SS rank, and Cuba, SS rank, are highlighted as excellent choices, particularly Brazil, due to its strong spikes and ease of use. Key strategies covered include using the power meter to control the speed and tempo of your shots. It suggests aiming for open spaces with 2 main serve types: the standard serve for easy targeting and the faster jump serve. A smart trick is to reduce shot power and use a feint, which causes the ball to drop sharply, often catching opponents, especially front row players, off guard and disrupting their timing. The guide also touches on quickly handling challenging situations, like a failed receive, by processing the toss rapidly to set up a spike comeback. Screenshots illustrate aiming for the court lines to induce errors, and the power meter in action. This page is all about strategy guides, prominently featuring the highly anticipated guide for Super Mario Sunshine, set to release on September 5th. The guide promises a deep dive into exploring every nook and cranny of Isle Delfino, detailing all of Mario's actions and the new techniques possible with the F.L.U.D device. It covers how to collect all those precious shine sprites, offering detailed maps and expert tips straight from the strategy team. Get ready to master everything from basic jumps to advanced moves. There's also a section listing other popular guidebooks already available, covering a range of GameCube, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy Advance titles. Highlighting the GBA library, the page showcases guides for Super Mario Advance and Super Mario Advance 2. The Super Mario Advance guide conveniently covers 2 different Mario titles in one book, while the Super Mario Advance 2 guide is a massive 208 pages, dedicated to clearing all 69 courses with easy-to-follow routes and tactics presented on wide, readable pages. It even briefly mentions a guide for Super Mario USA with multiplayer tips and item locations. If you're a Mario fan, these strategy books seem essential for fully exploring these classic adventures. This page is a fantastic sticker sheet packed with gaming icons. You've got stickers for classic Nintendo stars like Mario, specifically featuring his look from the upcoming Super Mario Sunshine, alongside fan favorites like Sonic the Hedgehog, Crash Bandicoots, and Mega Man XE. There are also stickers for less frequently seen characters like Klonoa from Klonoa, Door to Phantomile, characters from Mr. Driller, and the distinctive figures from the baseball series Jikyo Powerful Pro Yakyu, or Power Pros. Plus, there are adorable I Love Link stickers featuring the hero from The Legend of Zelda, and II from Super Monkey Ball ready for action. The sheet also includes larger images featuring the vibrant world of Super Mario Sunshine, a dynamic shot from the volleyball game Beach Spikers, celebrating a Segam 2 victory, and the intense artwork from Capcom vs. SNK2EO. There's even a section listing GameCube titles like Mickey Mouse's Mystical Mirror, Zoids vs. Kyoku Mahjong DX2, and All-Star Baseball 2003. It's a diverse mix of popular titles from different publishers, showcasing the breadth of games available and celebrated in the magazine. This page dives into the Nindori Gakuen, Nindori School Corporation, segment, featuring a humorous title, DOK, a swimming competition full of Mario. This seems to be a recurring reader participation or feedback section. Readers share their thoughts and questions, some expressing nervousness about talking about Marison, Super Mario Sunshine, in public for fear of being misunderstood. The editors respond to comments about the magazine's content, mentioning the We Love Mario feature, the Reader Corners, and a new, long manga series starting this issue. They also touch on specific topics, like finding golden Mario statues for sale, and questions about characters like Captain Olimar from Pikmin and Ganondorf from Super Smash Bros. Melee. Illustrations pepper the page, including characters in swimsuits possibly related to the title, a simplified character design, and a dynamic drawing of a cheerleader. The magazine also sets a funny weekly goal: refrain from wall kicking at other people's houses, a nod to platforming game mechanics. The page is rounded out with the address for reader letters. This page continues the Nindori Gakuen features, starting with This Week's On-Duty Person, highlighting a reader named Kinopio Reno, depicted as a charming female toad character. She enjoys gardening, reading, and has the unique skill of flying spores.
Next is Our Village's Pride, where readers share local treasures. Entry 25 features a mother-like look-alike, specifically someone resembling Wholeness from Earthbound. A photo shows the person, and the submission highlights the striking resemblance, down to the clothing color. The Parents Association corner gives a peek into the lives of gaming families. Submissions include a parent lamenting the move away from N64 towards GC and GBA, another humorously asking for a visual novel like The Night of the Sickle Weasel, and a parent scolding their child for smashing rocks with Link's sword in what sounds like a Zelda game, not Mario 64 as written. Other submissions share a bizarre dream about everyone becoming slippery and observing a dog at a construction site. Finally, the Game Emergency Squad provides a place for gamers to seek help. Questions include getting past a black hole in the Super Famicom version of Star Fox, which is clarified as a bonus stage full of items,
getting permission to climb a mountain,
and help with Golden Sun.
The next page continues with more Nindori Gakuen reader features. The main segment is Debate, Counterargument, Which Way Show, posing the question, which do you like more, GameCube or Game Boy Advance? Readers weighed in, praising the GameCube's beautiful graphics and big screen experience, even mentioning Link's cat eyes, likely from Wind Waker. While GBA fans championed its portability and ability to play anywhere, GameCube won the poll decisively, though the magazine muses this could change with big future releases. The next debate topic is also announced. Speaking of the Green L, Luigi, Link, which? Another corner. Ah, Heartless. You gotta be kidding me. Failure stories. Collects humorous and relatable gaming mishaps submitted by readers, like Nindori merch getting soaked or being ignored in chat. The page also provides a special cutout template for readers to use when submitting to the various Nindori Gakuen corners, and lists the address and email for sending in your contributions. There's also a vertical text expressing intense affection for Kurisan from Kuru Kuru Kururin, wishing for a body pillow, and small comics reacting to the Kirby anime and the character Tingle. This Nindori Gakuen page features reader submissions and editorial insights. A Miyagi reader expresses frustration with Super Famicom game ports on GameCube and GBA, feeling they're unnecessary repurchases for those who already played the originals. Reader questions address smoking policies, non-smoking office with a designated area, and staff member Transil's Pokemon nickname, a simple, easily remembered choice. The Star Fox comic behind-the-scenes section details author Nakashoku Hisashi's creative choices, including story changes due to page constraints, and highlights reader engagement. Finally, A preview for the ongoing Gosshawker story hints at the acquisition of 3D glasses and a race against time. The game communications section, a reader mailbag, features the editor's humorous complaint about the heat, possibly caused by Super Mario Sunshine. Readers share impressions on various games. One compares Hunter x Hunter to Castlevania, highlighting difficulty due to limited save points. Another praises the GameCube Capcom vs. SNK2 port, particularly its easy special move system. Other readers offer brief impressions, including nostalgic and humorous observations about various titles like Super Mario Sunshine, Animal Crossing, and Super Smash Bros. DX. Finally, a new 4-character impression segment and a note about a future format change to 575 for reviews of new games like Mario Sunshine and Golden Sun are included. This page features the Death Hermit's teachings, specifically the 24th lesson, and a new corner festival for summer vacation. This column acts as a reader Q and advice section, hosted by the eccentric Death Hermit character. A key question addresses the GameCube Wavebird controller, asking if multiple units can be used simultaneously. The answer confirms this is possible by utilizing the controller's 16 channels via a dial on the receiver. It notes the Wavebird uses radio waves, allowing signals through walls, but warns of interference if multiple controllers are on the same channel nearby. It even humorously suggests a theoretical scenario with 4 GameCubes and 16 Wavebirds. The Various Life Things section tackles miscellaneous reader submissions. One recurring topic is the taste of Dr. Pepper, with readers sharing their first impressions ranging from subtle to surprisingly good. Aside from the initial taste, a mock survey suggests acceptance is low, but a small percentage become enthusiastic believers. Other questions include seeking advice on overcoming eye drop phobia with an absurd face your death method, and balancing studying for university entrance exams with the release of big games, suggesting a study/play schedule with a bizarre penalty. The Death Hermit denies being the president, insisting he is just a hermit who gets plenty of sleep. The column maintains a humorous and often over-the-top tone fitting the character. The next page dives into 2 different gaming experiences. The first section is an introduction to the fundamentals of the board game Catan, specifically a Japanese version or port. It explains how players acquire resources by rolling dice, which are then used to build roads and settlements to earn victory points. Winning requires reaching 10 points, and points are primarily gained by building settlements, 1 point, and cities, 2 points. The article highlights the strategic element of player interaction, prediction, and negotiation as key to the game. It shows images of resource cards like sheep, wood, brick, ore, and wheat, along with the hexagonal board tiles. There's also a mention of a Japanese website for more information. The second major section covers the 64-game Beast Wars Metal 64. This is a battle-action game where characters transform between robot, vehicle, and beast forms. The transformation system is key, affecting character power and energy. The article notes that holding down the attack button allows players to unleash powerful special moves, which are crucial for winning, although it mentions it can be tricky to know when they land. The page includes screenshots of the game featuring characters like Convoy, Optimus Primal, and Megatron in different forms, illustrating the transformation mechanic. The game is described as a 12-player fighting experience. Finally, a small corner titled Oda Quest Kishin seems to be a section dedicated to introducing classic or older games to younger readers. This page features the second installment of Akira Himekawa's Game Landscape Theory column, highlighted by a dynamic illustration of Mario riding a powerful bull, accompanied by text that seems to exclaim, "Gutsy release." The column includes a personal travelogue from the author's first trip to America. They recount being impressed by the country, and specifically mention attending an Indian powwow and a cowboy rodeo, finding the real-life events quite impactful. There are also humorous notes about the author's struggles with jet lag and gaining weight during the trip, depicted alongside small, expressive chibi characters. A small banner suggests this installment might be a Rush Emergency Special Project or special feature for the series. While no specific game is reviewed, the column uses gaming imagery, like Mario and the title itself, to frame personal experiences and perspectives. This page continues Akira Himekawa's travelogue about her first trip to the United States, titled Nintendo in USA, Heaven Among American Customs, Volume 1. The author immediately emphasizes the sheer vastness of the American landscape, noting that driving to the next town can take several hours. What truly amazed her was the universal recognition of Nintendo. And 64, referring to the Nintendo 64, everywhere she went. She recounts meeting several interesting people in Montana. One was Mr. Nakagawa, her guide and interpreter, who runs a Japanese martial arts dojo and whose students also play 64. She also met Mr. Edie, a computer teacher and aspiring game creator, who boldly declared he wants to make games that surpass Nintendo, and Mr. Colin, a huge fan of the Legend of Zelda series, who has played them all and is eagerly awaiting the GameCube version, likely the Wind Waker. Colin even knew about the magazine. Himekawa reflects on how Nintendo serves as a common tool for communication and a source of anticipation and entertainment, especially in the vast American landscape, contrasting it with the more readily available distractions in Japan. The page features illustrations of the people she met, and a classic depiction of Link riding Epona from the Zelda series. A note highlights that this was apparently Himekawa-sensei's first time drawing Mario. The journey, she promises, is still ongoing. This page is dedicated to the Game Music Forum column, featuring a review of a soundtrack album for the Castlevania series. The main focus is the original soundtrack for Castlevania, Circle of the Moon and Castlevania, Concerto of Midnight Sun, both titles released on the Game Boy Advance. The page provides details for the album, including the release date, June 26, 2002, price, publisher, Konami, and product number. It features the album cover art, depicting a tombstone-like design with the game titles.
Below this is a lengthy track list covering the music from both games.
The main article, titled, "This Sound, This Melody, the Dracula Sound That Everyone Loved is Revived," offers commentary on the music. The reviewer expresses enthusiasm for the long-running Castlevania series music, calling it the Dracula sound beloved by fans since 1986. They discuss the music from the GBA entries, noting the quality achieved despite the hardware limitations, especially praising the use of sampled sounds and the arrangement style. The reviewer highlights the tension created by the air sound in Circle of the Moon and the nostalgic, Western-style atmosphere in Concerto of Midnight Sun. They feel the album successfully captures the essence of the classic Castlevania sound, making it a recommended listen for fans. There's also a small note about attending a concert and links to related game music websites. This Nintendo Dream Around the World column spotlights exciting overseas Game Boy Advance releases, focusing on first-person shooters. The article praises the Gregba's ability to handle both 2D and 3D graphics, even connecting to the GameCube, and highlights the global developer interest in the platform. Two featured FPS games are Doom, Activision, a superior port of the PC classic with more maps and multiplayer, and Dark Arena, Majesco, showcasing unique monster designs, though with slightly less smooth scrolling. The article also previews upcoming FPS releases like Alien vs. Predator and Duke Nukem Advance, emphasizing the Gregba's potential for handheld multiplayer. Importantly, these games are US imports. This page features Komachan's exciting advertising department diary, giving us a personal look at the magazine staff's activities in July. We join them at a baseball all-star game in Tokyo Dome, enjoying the atmosphere and beer, even having a close encounter with a foul ball. Later diary entries detail a meeting with a game maker discussing forthcoming GBA titles, revealing a global development structure involving Taiwan and America, and mentioning meeting individuals who worked on a significant PlayStation game. The team also attended a press conference for the revival of the classic Jake Hunter detective story series, confirming a new entry for the GBA. A separate column, Digital Camera and Me, has reporter Kayama Naoyuki sharing his experiences using a digital camera for work, capturing images for various articles, including features on E3 and the Mario Support Project. His quirky hobby is specifically photographing white things with his small camera. The page also includes recent best shots, featuring photos like road construction that brought Animal Crossing to mind, and lively snapshots from a staff dinner celebrating Nintendo Dream issue number 72, complete with drinks and a dedicated colleague eating cold udon. It's a neat glimpse behind the scenes. This page dives into the Akihabara gaming market as of July 27, 2002, focusing on the going rates for GameCube and Game Boy Advance software. It features lists detailing various titles, their Akihabara prices, suggested retail prices, release dates, genres, publishers, and save data requirements or types. These comprehensive charts give a snapshot of the market value for numerous games at the time. A notable column comments on price trends, highlighting that the recently released Super Mario Sunshine is holding a stable price between 5,780 and 5,980 yen after selling over 300,000 copies in its first week, which is pretty strong performance. In contrast, Super Smash Bros. Melee is starting to appear for as low as 5,000 yen in some stores. For the Game Boy Advance, titles like Yu-Gi-Oh!, the latest Hikaru no Go, and Fire Emblem are specifically mentioned as games that haven't seen significant price drops and are recommended as perfect picks for summer vacation play. Other games, like Tomato Adventure and Fire Emblem, are also suggested for summer fun. The page also features a section dedicated to Super Mario Sunshine, complete with a screenshot showing Mario, Yoshi's, and water mechanics from the game, reiterating its stable price and popularity in Akihabara. Overall, it's a solid look at how game prices were fluctuating in one of Japan's major electronics and gaming hubs. This page features the start of a new manga serialization titled Susume Tenin Kazoku, following a mother and son's journey to meet the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto. Set on July 19, 2002, a day that marks the son's birthday and the highly anticipated release of Super Mario Sunshine, the comic captures the excitement surrounding the big day. The son, Dashkun, is thrilled that his birthday coincides with Super Mario Sunshine's launch, while his mother teases him about her surprise gift. Much to Dashkun's astonishment and delight, the special present is the chance to attend a joint press conference with Shigeru Miyamoto himself. The comic lightheartedly touches upon Nintendo's location in Kyoto before showing Dashkun eagerly preparing for the trip, complete with his Pikachu backpack, highlighting the personal significance of this visit for the young fan. This manga ties into a larger feature report elsewhere in the magazine about visiting Nintendo. Dashkun and his mother continue their comical journey to Nintendo headquarters in Kyoto. Their train ride is punctuated by the mother's emotional debut excitement and Dashkun's playful teasing. She enforces strict, yet outlandish rules. Formal attire, including mustaches for boys, new pants, and a portable game console around the neck. Despite Dashkun's protests, they arrive in Kyoto, only to find the Nintendo offices have moved. Lost and potentially late for a press conference, they wonder if they'll ever find Shigeru Miyamoto. The page ends with a cliffhanger and a sidebar linking to the artist's website. This page presents an extensive look ahead at the upcoming software releases for Nintendo's GameCube and Game Boy Advance, along with a small section for Game Boy Color. It's a treasure trove for any Nintendo fan, detailing the release dates, titles, developers, and prices for a massive list of games. The GameCube lineup features highly anticipated titles like the next entry in the legendary Resident Evil series, Biohazard Zero, the promising action RPG Eternal Darkness, and placeholders for future hits like Metroid Prime and Soul Calibur 2. We also see upcoming sports titles and continuations of beloved series like Phantasy Star Online. The Game Boy Advance schedule is equally packed, highlighting portable adventures like Densetsu no Staffai, Golden Sun 2, and new entries in the Super Mario Advance and Pokémon series. There are also familiar names like Mr. Driller and Air Force Delta 2 making the jump to the portable screen. This schedule gives us a clear picture of the exciting pipeline of software coming to Nintendo platforms, covering a wide range of genres from RPGs and action games to sports and platformers, promising plenty of gaming goodness in the months ahead. This page serves as reference data for the magazine's questionnaire, listing numbered options for various gaming magazines, hardware platforms like GameCube, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 2, and Xbox, and specific articles within the magazine. Below this, the page triumphantly announces the winners of the magazine's August issue giveaway. Lucky readers snagged incredible prizes, including signed pamphlets from gaming legends like Shigeru Miyamoto and Takaya Imamura. Other fantastic wins included Nintendo GameCube and Game Boy Advance consoles, a cool Metroid Prime t-shirt, and trial versions or full copies of hot games. Winners are listed for exciting titles such as Golden Sun, The Lost Age, Super Mario Sunshine, Capcom vs. SNK2 Super Ghouls, N Ghosts R, Rally 3, and Disney Sports Soccer. It looks like some fans got seriously rewarded for participating. This page kicks off with the magazine's questionnaire for the issue, asking readers everything from their age and occupation to which gaming magazines they read, what consoles they own, and which games they're looking forward to. It also asks for feedback on the current issue's articles and the Nindori renewal, likely referring to a refresh of the magazine itself, which would later become Nintendo Dream. There are clear instructions on how to fill out the survey form, with examples of how to write numbers neatly. But the real gem here is the feature at the bottom. Game Magazine Editor. What is Muscle's origin? This looks like a chat between editors, featuring Muscle Igurin and Oka Chanaru. The dialogue dives deep, seemingly discussing Muscle's start in the industry, or his gaming philosophy, centered around a truly bizarre game, Gourmet Sentai Bara Yaru. There's even a screenshot from this infamous 1995 Super Famicom beat-em-up, known for its over-the-top, muscular characters and weird, food-based attacks. It appears they're reminiscing about this cult classic, and how it ties into Muscle's background as an editor. If you know Bara Yaru, you know this is a wild ride of a game, so connecting it to an editor's origin story is pure gold. The Ask Nintendo Q, and a section features a question about Super Mario Sunshine sales, answered with enthusiasm. The editor praises the game's popularity, noting it's selling quickly. He also discusses the game's characters, particularly Baby Mario's history and absence in Super Mario Sunshine, and mentions upcoming fall releases. The section also includes a Navigator of the Month feature, highlighting the editor's enthusiasm for the game, and a one-shot of the month, with a photo of schoolgirls and a humorous restroom discovery. Finally, the Monty people from Delfino Plaza are featured, sparking speculation about their name's origin. This page continues the Ask Nintendo section, kicking off with enthusiastic feedback on Super Mario Sunshine's reception, describing the water pump action as incredibly satisfying and the game as getting progressively better. Next, it addresses the release date for Star Fox Adventure, confirming it's set for September 27th after a delay caused by the game's massive scale and ambitious story. They assure fans it's coming, and commercials are on the way, highlighting gameplay elements like combat, puzzles, and dinosaur battles. A question about the hobby fair reveals it was a big success for Nintendo, featuring playable demos of titles like Super Mario Sunshine, the legendary Starfy, Custom Robo GX, and Super Mario Advance 3. The editors were impressed by the enthusiastic crowd, especially for Mario Sunshine, and emphasized the value of direct interaction with players. They also lamented the cancellation of Space World, but hoped to show off games like Zelda and Metroid Prime at Tokyo Game Show. Finally, the page introduces Nintendo Gamefront, a new entertainment facility built with Matsushita Electric, Panasonic, where visitors can experience Nintendo games, potentially including unreleased titles and demos on the latest hardware. It mentions a connectivity zone, showcasing new playstyles linking GameCube and Game Boy Advance. Images include screenshots from Super Mario Sunshine and Star Fox Adventure, plus a vibrant render of Mario and Yoshi. The Ask Nintendo page discusses the upcoming Nintendo Gamefront facility, a free September opening showcasing GameCube features. Regarding Metroid Prime, the 3D graphics create a distinct but still recognizable experience, 9 years after Super Metroid. While no concrete plans exist for Animal Crossing, Plus2, producer Mr. Tezuka's comments hint at enhancements to the current Animal Crossing Plus. Finally, the page clarifies Anport as Joy Carry in Japan, a system enabling GameCube to GBA connectivity for classic Famicom games like Donkey Kong and Pac-Man. Nintendo is exploring further uses for this technology, potentially relating to Animal Crossing enhancements. This page of Ask Nintendo delves into various topics. We get a look at the mysterious GameCube RPG Giftpia, described as one of Nintendo's hidden ball projects, featuring an E3 demo and a protagonist who grants wishes and grows up. There's also confirmation that Mario Tennis GC will indeed be released, though it might be next year or later, following up on the name change mentioned previously. Fans asking about new GameCube colors will be disappointed. The focus is currently on maximizing production for the Christmas season, leaving no room for new color variations at the moment. Limited editions through distributors might be a possibility in the future though. A sad update is given on Advance Wars GBA, referred to here by its Japanese title, Game Boy Wars GBA. While the US version sold well, the Japanese release timing was deemed inappropriate due to international events, likely related to the aftermath of 9/11, leading to an indefinite postponement despite the game being complete. Finally, a joint venture between Nintendo and Hudson called Shofu, created to support 64 development, has been dissolved as its role concluded with the transition to the GameCube era. The next page continues the Ask Nintendo Q, and a section diving into more fan questions. Question 14 asks why Nintendo collaborates with other companies. The answer highlights the importance of the Triforce arcade board, developed jointly with Namco and Sega, which allowed for simultaneous development of arcade and GameCube software. They mentioned past successful collaborations like Capcom on Mickey Mouse's Mystical Mirror and The Legend of Zelda. The Minish Cap for GBA. The recent venture with Hudson, Shufu, is also brought up, noting that such collaborations stem from mutual trust between creators at different companies. Question 15. Celebrates the magazine itself, Nintendo Dream, becoming a bi-monthly publication. The response confirms this change and expresses gratitude for the positive reader feedback received, especially regarding the increased frequency and the magazine's updated design. They mention the editorial staff is working hard and appreciate the reader support. The page features images of the previous magazine, 64 Dream, and the current Nintendo Dream. There's also a small section promoting submission of questions for the Nintendo question box, featuring a picture of Toad. A sidebar features a caricature of Hiroshi Imanishi, head of public relations, noting his birthday. This page introduces some incredible player creations submitted for the Let's Spread the Forest Plus Ring Volume 2 Submitted Work Introduction event in Animal Crossing. Out of over 400 entries for a chance to win Famicom furniture, the magazine highlights some truly unique and hilarious designs. The My Clothes Pride section showcases creative outfits, including a clever camouflage series mimicking various terrain types like the coastline, ground, trees, grass, and rocks, perfect for hiding anywhere. There are also fun costumes like rider pretend clothes, an injured person clothes with a stitched face, and even a spooky Hannibal clothes design. Under Design Signboard Edition, players have reimagined familiar village shops with real-world inspirations, turning the Able Sisters into Uniqlo, Nook's Cranny into 7-Eleven, and Nookington's into a Tanuki department store. Other highlights include imaginative scene setting, such as a protest against construction, a museum entrance transformed into a movie theater showing the classic Japanese film It's Tough Being a Man, and a detailed setup for the village mayor election, complete with posters and a polling station. The creativity shown by players in customizing their Animal Crossing villages is truly impressive and often quite funny. This page continues, showcasing impressive player submissions from the Animal Crossing event. First up are the winners in the Handmade Love Village category, featuring incredible physical dioramas and handmade figures depicting their in-game rooms and layouts. It's cool to see the world brought to life outside the console. Next, under Individual Ideas, players showed off creative touches like custom signboards placed in front of their in-game houses. One example creates a Master Sword Forest-themed room, adding a unique touch to their space. The extremely realistic custom designs section highlights pixel art designs, including incredibly detailed portraits used as custom patterns in the game. It's amazing how realistic some of these designs are within the game's limitations. Finally, a heartwarming submission titled My Town's Joan features a photo of an elderly woman who sells vegetables, reminding the player of the turnip-selling boar, Joan, from the game. There's also a section promoting the Nintendo website, with details on how to get the Famicom furniture prizes from the event, listing some of the classic items you could win, like mahjong tables and Nintendo benches. This page provides a lively report on the Pokémon Festa 2002 Hokkaido tournament held at the Tsudome venue. The highlight for many attendees, including the reporter who traveled from Tokyo, was getting the first public chance to play the upcoming Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire games. The venue featured several themed corners, a stage with performances by costumed Pokémon characters, a game corner showcasing the new titles, a summer festival area, a movie corner, the Altomare Cafe, the Seoul food spot, a Pokémon trading card game area where the performer Imakuni held a popular live show, and a busy sales corner. The stage shows were a hit with families, while the game corner drew crowds eager to try Ruby and Sapphire. Large Pokémon figures like a Blastoise statue were present for photos, and a giant inflatable Pikachu hung from the ceiling, adding to the festive atmosphere. The page captures the excitement and various activities available at the event. A new Pokémon Center opened in the Sapporo Ana Hotel, stocked with exclusive merchandise. The Pokémon Center newsletter highlights Tokyo, Osaka, and online store locations, and a contest offering a Hokkaido trip for families. The magazine's editors raved about a unique, rare Ochigen gift from Game Freak. Finally, 2 new Pokémon-themed treats, Cocoa Cookies and Pokédoll Crunch Chocolate, are announced, along with a contest for original Pokémon Center Sapporo goods.
This page is all about Capcom Mania Volume 2, a collaboration project with Nintendo. It's packed with must-see info for fans. First up, it highlights the eCap.com online store, which was set for a renewal in August. They showcase some cool merchandise themed around the adorable Servbots, Koban, from Mega Man Legends, including a necktie pin, a phone strap that lights up, a t-shirt, and a backpack. Then, it dives into Keitai Capcom Mania, Capcom's mobile content service. This is where you could grab tons of cool stuff for your flip phone back in the day. We're talking wallpapers, ringtones, game melodies, character voices, and sound effects. They list a bunch of classic stuff like Mega Man boss themes, tunes from Breath of Fire 2 and Resident Evil 2, and even character voices like Chun-Li's spinning bird kick sound effect from Street Fighter. Finally, there's a section teasing Capcom's mobile app games, showing screenshots of Fly, Rockman, and Resident Evil Assault the Nightmare. It seems like they were planning to cover these in more detail later, promising various games were available. Capcom was really pushing into the mobile space even then. This page features a deep dive interview with Koji Inafune, the head of Capcom R&D Division 2, and a key figure behind the Mega Man and Onimusha series. The focus is on the origins of the Mega Man Battle Network series, Rockman Exe, and a peek at what's coming in Mega Man Battle Network 3. Inafune explains that Battle Network was created to bring Mega Man back to a younger audience, aiming for 1 million units sold, unlike previous titles that often sold less. He discusses the decision to develop for the Game Boy Advance, and the strategy of a media mix, coordinating the game's development with the manga and anime from the start. He reflects on the series' history, including Mega Man X and Mega Man Legends, and the challenge of keeping the core fun while adapting to new hardware like 3D consoles. Regarding Mega Man Battle Network 3, Inafune states that Battle Network 2 refined the system, and for the third entry, they are focused on adding fun and surprising elements, even hinting at unique interactions within the game world that will make players exclaim in surprise. He also briefly touches on the possibility of a Mega Man game on the GameCube, suggesting it makes sense, given the advance release. The interview showcases Inafune's clear vision for Battle Network and his confidence in its success. The page includes a portrait photo of Koji Inafune. This page features a bold challenge, where the magazine's editorial team takes on Sega's development studios, not to support them, but to break Sega. The first target is Smilebit, developers known for baseball games like Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team. The chosen battleground is Monkey Fight 2, a minigame from the upcoming Super Monkey Ball 2. The rules are simple. Punch your opponents off the stage to score points. The team with the most points within the time limit wins the round. There's also a bonus for hitting opponents with a charged punch. Smilebit is represented by Mr. Baba Jin and Mr. Kodama Mamoru. The magazine team, Nindori, also puts forward their players. The match unfolds across several rounds. Despite a strong start, the Nindori team couldn't secure enough wins. In the end, Smilebit emerges victorious, winning the match 3 rounds to Nindori's 2. The page also touches on the potential naming convention for things related to the ball aspect of the game, suggesting names like Ashitama, Tomorrow Ball, similar to the Japanese furikake seasoning, Noritama. Overall, it's a fun segment showcasing the competitive spirit between the magazine and the developers, using one of Sega's exciting new party games. This page features an interview with the developers at Smilebit, a Sega studio known for their sports simulation games like the Let's Make series. The interview delves into the studio's development approach, their confidence in genres beyond sports, and their technical expertise, including work on new hardware platforms like the Game Boy Advance and potentially the GameCube in the future. The page showcases some of Smilebit's notable titles, including the popular Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team and the unique action game Jet Set Radio, highlighting its distinctive tune-rendered visuals. Following the previous page's challenge match, it's announced that the magazine's editorial team will face Smilebit again, this time in Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team, as a rematch to win treasure goods. The page also includes sections for reader engagement, soliciting questions for Sega via the Sega hotline, and running a contest for readers to submit experience reports about a Waku Waku game party, featuring Super Monkey Ball 2 stickers as prizes. This page kicks off with the Soryuke Mario Shinkansen segment, featuring Mario and a sharp-dressed police character, alongside a cat and dog mascot. The message is a classic summer greeting from the editors, acknowledging everyone enjoying their holidays at the beach, pool, camping, or festivals, while the magazine team is hard at work putting the issue together. They're putting out a call for reader submissions, asking for help from the fans. Below that is the Grand Hall of Illustrations, a showcase of reader-submitted artwork.
It's always great to see the talent in the fanbase.
This gallery features some really cool pieces covering a wide range of titles. We've got beautiful takes on The Legend of Zelda, looking very much like the Wind Waker style with Link and a bird companion. There's also art for Metroid, the popular Mega Man Battle Network series, the beloved classic Earthbound, Mother 2, a sunny depiction of Mario Sunshine, and even artwork for the charming RPG Magical Vacation. Each illustration includes a little blurb, giving context or commentary on the piece. It's a vibrant display of creativity from the readers.
This page continues the Soryuk Mario Shinkansen section, showcasing more fantastic reader-submitted artwork. The variety is impressive, featuring fan art for games like a character resembling Solid Snake, characters from Fire Emblem, The Binding Blade, including Sue and Shin, a cute depiction of Mario and Yoshi with Princess Peach, and a moody, atmospheric piece featuring Wholeness and Paula from Earthbound, enjoying a moonlit night. There's also a lively piece packed with characters from various franchises including The Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, and Kirby. Below that is the Shogun Selection, themed Summer Color. This section is a gallery of illustrations capturing the spirit of summer. We see scenes of characters enjoying the beach, swimming, and watching fireworks. Highlights include a playful illustration of Princess Peach in a swimsuit, various Pokemon characters like Pikachu soaking up the sun, a summer-themed take on Princess Zelda, and even characters camping. It's a great collection of fan art, celebrating the season with favorite game characters. This page features the 4-panel comic tenement section, presenting a collection of reader-submitted 4-panel manga. The comics cover various popular game franchises. We see Pikachu-like characters from Gunma Prefecture celebrating a lottery win, fighters from Capcom vs. SNK, including Ryu and Kyo Kusanagi from Hiroshima Prefecture, joke about game mechanics and character strength. Link from The Legend of Zelda is humorously depicted in 2Ds by a reader from Gifu Prefecture, emphasizing his thinness. Animal Crossing characters from Miyagi Prefecture feature in a comic about pineapples and war movies. Mario series characters and Mr. Game & Watch appear in comics from Chiba Prefecture. Super Smash Bros. Characters like Peach and Fox from Tochigi Prefecture show off humorous attacks. F-Zero characters, notably Captain Falcon from Hyogo Prefecture, are also featured. Bowser and other Mario characters from Chiba Prefecture appear in a comic about the character's world. Additional comics from Osaka and Niigata Prefectures feature various game characters and original designs, touching upon learning and retro consoles like the Famicom. The page ends with a comic from Shizuoka Prefecture showing Princess Zelda and Dark Link, referencing overcoming challenges in old games. This page is the Illustration High-Rise Apartment Building, a vibrant gallery showcasing illustrations submitted by readers. We see fan art covering a wide range of popular titles. Featured here are characters from Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, with a comment about drawing a silly scene despite being overwhelmed. There are multiple illustrations related to the Fire Emblem series, including one artist who spent a good chunk of change on gachapon figures, and others depicting various characters and scenes, like conversations between Lilina and Marcus, or being warned not to cry until the ending. The Legend of Zelda series is also popular, with art showing Link and Zelda together, Link from the Wind Waker, and images inspired by titles like Link's Awakening, though the accompanying art might not always directly match the comment. There's also a drawing featuring Din from the Oracle series. We see characters from Golden Sun, both in standard and cute deformed styles, with comments celebrating the game and mentioning playing the sequel. Other illustrations include Star Fox characters drawn during late-night study sessions, Resident Evil Zero's Billy, and Kane from Black Matrix Zero. Fans also submitted art for Super Mario Sunshine and characters from Super Smash Bros. Melee, showing their enthusiasm for the games. Some illustrations are more abstract or feature original characters, reflecting online interactions and personal artistic styles. Overall, it's a fantastic display of reader creativity inspired by their favorite games. This page features reader-submitted illustrations and comments centered around the theme of their gaming expectations. Fans share their excitement for upcoming and recent releases like Star Fox Adventures and the GameCube titles, Zelda on GC, likely The Wind Waker, Resident Evil Zero, Ace Attorney 2, and Mega Man & Bass on GBA. Other anticipated games include F-Zero GC, Super Smash Bros., Melee, Pokemon Ruby/Sapphire, Legend of Zelda, Mother 3, the remake of Mother 1, New Onigashima, Pikmin 2, Ganbare Goemon, and Black Matrix Zero. Readers express their hopes for sequels, tournaments, and new features. There's also a collaborative piece featuring Pokemon protagonists from the first generation up to Ruby and Sapphire, showcasing the enduring appeal of the series. The page is a vibrant display of fan anticipation and artistic talent across a wide range of popular game franchises. This page showcases fan-submitted artwork and letters from readers, highlighting their passion for various games and characters. The top section features art from fans under 10 years old, including depictions of Marth, likely from Super Smash Bros., Melee, Kirby characters, Sonic and Tails from Sonic Adventure 2, Animal Crossing characters, Princess Peach, and a Smash Bros. Scene with Kirby and Wario. The comments express excitement for games like Smash Bros. And Sonic Adventure 2. The lower section includes general fan letters and illustrations, featuring art of Captain Falcon, Mr. Saturn from Earthbound, and Pikachu, among others. Readers share their thoughts and support through their creative submissions. The page also includes a lengthy list of readers who have been promoted within the magazine's Mario Imperial Guard fan club ranking system. Additionally, there are instructions and deadlines for readers wishing to submit their own illustrations and fan letters. This page is part of the Hall of Dreams, or Hall of Fame, specifically the Dori Teku corner, packed with the latest cheat information. The top section dives into Meta Road Dig, explaining how to acquire rare metals. It details a method involving clearing the tournament, losing your hard Neston, and then fighting the random appearance of the Rebo core to get it back. It also mentions battling the Omikujicho core 13 times at specific stages free Robotle points to earn rare metals. Screenshots show robot battles and character interactions in the game. The bottom half is dedicated to Bubble Bobble Old and New, revealing hidden commands and name entry cheats. It lists button combinations for different modes like Super Bubble Bobble, Original Game, and Power Up, allowing players to activate various effects. Furthermore, entering specific names on the high score screen grants unique in-game advantages, such as starting with more bubbles, enabling two-player mode, increasing special bubble appearances, or even ensuring specific power-up items like ramen or curry drop every time you clear a stage. Screenshots from the classic Bubble Bobble gameplay illustrate the content.
These tips offer some fun ways to mix up the classic Bubble Bobble experience.
This page reveals more secrets for Dori Teku games, starting with Beach Spikers. Unlocking hidden swimsuits depends on completing arcade mode, up to 5 swimsuits, World Tour, and specific conditions like high teamwork and low credibility. The Pinball of the Dead features secret modes unlocked with specific passwords, including Movie Test, Sound Test, and Boss Mode. The page also solicits reader submissions for game cheats, glitches, and secrets, Dori technique, with prizes for the best. Finally, a recruitment drive for Dreamplay encourages submissions of unique gameplay moments, such as creative or efficient clears of games like Pikmin and Power Pro Kun Pocket 3. This page previews the upcoming GameCube release of UFC 2 Tap-Out Final Spec. It highlights the brutal reality of the octagonal battlefield, explaining that UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, is a mixed martial arts competition held since 1993, known for its anything goes style with few rules. Fights take place in the octagon cage, with no escaping to ropes. Victories come via submission, tap-out, knockout, or decision if the fight goes the distance. The game features 28 real-life UFC fighters, including notable names like Rico Rodriguez and Matt Serra. The GameCube version adds new fighters not seen in the PS2 or Xbox releases, presenting itself as the definitive version of UFC 2. Screenshots showcase intense grappling, ground fighting, and the signature octagon environment. The graphics are praised, with an entrance scene of Urijah Faber shown as an example.
Another featured matchup is between Mark Coleman and Maurice Smith. This promises a realistic and action-packed fighting experience on the GameCube.
This page continues the deep dive into UFC 2 Tap-Out Final Spec, really emphasizing the intricate fighter movements and the sheer intensity of the octagon battles. It shows off the strategic depth, from grappling exchanges and ground and pound to mastering submissions and striking from a distance. The screenshots highlight key moments like a fighter in back mount, strategic ground control, and stand-up striking. But the biggest surprise revealed here is the inclusion of guest characters from the Street Fighter II series, none other than
Honda and Zangief are entering the octagon.
This adds a wild, unexpected twist to the roster. The page also profiles real-life legends like Tito Ortiz, known as the Bad Boy, and a massive star in MMA, and Vitor Belfort, the Phenom, detailing their fighting styles and accomplishments. On top of all that, the game features a player edit mode. You can create your own fighter from scratch, boost their stats like punching power, kicks, and wrestling through various missions, and then take them all the way to challenge for the UFC Championship. It sounds like a robust package for any fighting game fan. This page dives into the high-octane world of Sega's 18-wheeler, American Pro Trucker on the Nintendo GameCube. Originally an arcade and Dreamcast hit, this port lets you live out the fantasy of driving massive 18-wheelers across the United States. The core game is a frantic race from New York to San Francisco, across 4 stages. Not just against the clock, but also rival truckers, who will try to hinder your progress with aggressive tactics. You'll choose from 5 types of truck heads, with 1 hidden, and connect various trailers, battling through traffic and your opponents. Performance is key, as hitting things or getting delayed reduces your earnings, which are used to buy power-ups like tuning engines after you reach the goal. Beyond the standard arcade mode, the GameCube version adds several cool modes. There's a parking mode testing your precision driving, a score attack mode where you aim for a high score by destroying bonus cars while avoiding obstacles, and a split-screen versus mode for head-to-head trucking action where strategy matters as much as speed. All your records can be saved, naturally. This looks like a solid port, bringing that arcade trucking thrill home. This page introduces Zoo Cube for the Game Boy Advance, a seemingly simple yet deep 3D action puzzle game. The core concept revolves around rotating a central structure called the arc to match and pair up animals arriving from 6 different directions. Pairing animals makes them disappear, which is crucial for saving creatures facing extinction. You play as EIO, a young boy dedicated to rescuing these endangered animals and relocating them to safe zones. The game's premise is that the arc's automated classification system has malfunctioned, forcing EIO to manually sort the animals by lining them up. This requires quick reflexes and sharp judgment as the animals arrive randomly. The text highlights that simply rotating the arc isn't enough. You'll need to use techniques like rearranging the incoming animal capsules to clear them effectively. There are even helper items and scoring bonuses for pulling off combos, adding layers to the puzzle action. It sounds like a frantic and strategic challenge to keep the arc from overflowing and ensure those animals find a safe new home. This page highlights 2 new game releases. First, we have Nakayoshi Yukine for the Game Boy Advance. This is a raising simulation game where you step into the shoes of a nursery school teacher for 3 years, guiding the unique children in your care and aiming to become a beloved figure. You'll manage daily life, handle the children's various antics, and engage in mini-games like sports and drawing to help them develop. Your personal life as a teacher is also a factor. Featured below is Kiwame Mahjong DX2, the 4th Mondo 21 Cup competition for the Nintendo GameCube. This Mahjong game brings the intensity of professional play, featuring 16 real professional players appearing via live-action video. You participate as the 17th contestant in the prestigious 4th Mondo 21 Cup, battling through qualifiers and aiming for victory against top-tier opponents based purely on skill. Winning increases your rank and unlocks new challenges for a high-level Mahjong experience. This Nintendo GameCube software preview highlights upcoming releases, including Zoids vs. Star Fox Adventures and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The catalog details titles like Super Monkey Ball 2, Kinnikuman Tusei, Soul Calibur 2, and a One Piece action game. RPG fans can anticipate Phantasy Star Online Episode In and 2, a Zelda game, likely Ocarina of Time, a new Tales game, a new RPG from Xenosaga Staff, Gold Mountain, and Eternal Arcadia. Other notable titles include Sonic Mega Collection, Sonic Adventure, likely DX, Rollorama, Virtua Fighter Quest, Gift Pia, and Disney's Magical Mirror. The preview conveys overall excitement for the diverse and anticipated GameCube lineup. The GameCube software lineup boasts highly anticipated titles across various genres. Horror fans can expect Eternal Darkness, multiple Resident Evil games, including a new Resident Evil 4, and Batman, Dark Tomorrow. Racing titles include 18-Wheeler, Grand Theft Auto 2i, and anticipated classic series like F-Zero and Shutoku Battle. Sports fans are promised All-Star Baseball, WTA Tour Tennis, WrestleMania X8, Disney Sports, Sega Soccer Slam, UFC 2, and the baseball, Metroid Prime and Star Fox, highlighted for their E3 showings and unique 3D perspectives, round out the impressive list, with many titles still in development. This page continues the look at the GameCube's upcoming and released software. Under the Now Making section, we see a lineup of anticipated titles in development. Nintendo is busy, with new entries in popular series like Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, both sporting the GC suffix, and hints of potential GBA connectivity. A new 1080 snowboarding game is also on the way, promising great graphics. Konami is bringing the Disney Sports franchise to the GC with American football and basketball, featuring Disney characters and sports action. Other highlights include Kemco's puzzle game Eggmania, Namco's Mr. Driller Drill Land, possibly linking with the GBA version, and Asmik Ace's Dokapon DX, bringing the unique board game/RPG hybrid series to the console. We also see Mario Party 4, confirmed as a sequel to the Avern 64 entry. There's also a large list detailing games that have already been released for the GameCube, covering various genres with standard information like publisher, release date, price, and required memory blocks. This page is an advertisement from Nintendo Dream/My.com, announcing the release of 2 new strategy guides for popular Game Boy Advance titles just in time for summer. The first guide featured is for Golden Sun, The Lost Age. This substantial A5-sized book boasts 288 pages and costs 1,300 yen. Building upon the successful structure of the previous game's guide, it promises comprehensive coverage. It's designed so all the necessary information, including map data, strategy details, and monster data, is readily available when you need it. It covers everything from solving puzzles using Jin abilities to detailed monster data, map layouts, hidden events, rare items, character growth methods, and a system explanation, guiding you through the story progression with field maps. The second guide highlights Sakura Momoko no Uki Uki Carnival. This guide is shorter at 96 pages, priced at 950 yen. The game itself isn't difficult to clear, but the real goal and challenge is inviting all 123 town residents to the carnival. The guide focuses on helping you achieve this, providing essential tips and information. It details all the residents and Monpi characters in the game, explaining how to find them and gather the necessary information to invite them, making the process much easier and more enjoyable. Both guides are announced as being currently on sale. The advertisement also directs readers to the official website, where they can preview the guides and access an online database of tips and hidden techniques. This page is a full-page advertisement for Rally 3 on Game Boy Advance, promoting portable 3D rally racing action anytime, anywhere, with varied courses and realistic handling, releasing June 27, 2002 for 4,800 yen. This page previews the upcoming volume of Nintendo Dream Magazine, Volume 74, set to release on August 21st for 490 yen. The next issue promises continuing strategy coverage for Mario games and a flash report on Star Fox Adventures. It highlights the appearance of new autumn titles like Super Mario Sunshine and Eternal Darkness, along with the usual interviews featuring well-known Sega creators. The page also includes the editor's voice section with comments from the staff, accompanied by an illustration of Mario and Yoshi. A small panel features a 1996 flyer for the Nintendo 64. The page lists the magazine's staff and contact information. This page is a full-page advertisement for the Game Boy Advance game Metal Gunslinger, featuring cool art by Hitoshi Ariga, highlighting its side-scrolling action, release date, multimedia tie-ins, and a special bonus figure for first purchases. This page is dedicated to Klonoa G2, Dream Champ Tournament on the Game Boy Advance. The energetic mascot, Klonoa, dominates the page, inviting players to believe in themselves and the wind. The game is presented with colorful screenshots, showing off its classic side-scrolling platforming action. There's even a fun crossword puzzle included, challenging fans on their knowledge of the Klonoa universe. The page also promotes a special campaign where purchasing the game offers a chance to win awesome prizes like a Nintendo GameCube, a Game Boy Advance console, or exclusive Klonoa merchandise through a lottery application valid until September 6, 2002. The game is noted as being available now,